Hello, welcome back to What's on Your Mind podcast. We do apologize for missing an episode. Life gets in the way, and it's a brand new podcast. We'll get on the roll. We'll get rolling. We'll get on the proper schedule. But I am here with Oscar as always. Um, so there's something that we should say. It is actually Oscar's birthday today.
It is
It
at the
is.
time of recording.
It is.
Yeah.
You see, Oscar's recording on his birthday. Like this is an absolute privilege. He could be out. He could be out partying. You know,
To anyone that,
piping down the ladies. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. That's kind of misogynistic. But it's Oscar's birthday, so we're gonna sing him happy birthday. I'm joking. We're
oh
not. We're
God,
not really. I'm not gonna sing.
thank God.
You'll never catch me singing, my friend. You'll never catch me singing. Um,
For
but
anyone that knows me, I'm the least partying type of person in the world.
yeah, Oscar's a very chill person. Very, very chill. Um, but do you know what I wanted to say to this episode? I think we should talk about our college days.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I
Sounds
think we
good.
should talk about college because, to be honest, me and Oscar Wilson, our friend who also went to college with us, um, I was thinking maybe one day we can get him on the episode to talk about it a little bit. But I feel like we should talk about our experiences, just like mine and yours, because like in like level 3 as well, like we saw each other and stuff, but obviously Oscar and Carl they weren't around, were they? So it was basically just like us two, and we were in the same form for like 2 years, right? So
Yep.
and then
Oxfam, baby.
speaking of Oxfam, there is a story that I want to talk to you about Oxfam. I mean the literal
Okay.
shop, not the subjects, but so you want to tell the listeners what we were in college doing?
Yeah. So We started in late 2015, and um, we were doing ICT,
Yeah.
right? And um, I'm trying to think. I'm trying. We'll get. I think we should talk about Oxfam this episode just for fun. But I'm trying to remember some of the units. One of them was like a video editing unit that came later on, but a lot of it was like general computer knowledge. I'm talking like in both
Well,
level one
level
and level
level
two.
one was like very simple stuff, right? It's basically how to use a computer. That's pretty much what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so obviously us we had to start from the bottom, right? Starting from level 1, so we had to start from the bottom basically because we ended up getting like a 15-week summer break. Do you remember that? Because we finished so
Oh yeah,
early.
because we broke up like in
Yeah,
May.
we finished so early. We all passed except one person. We
Ooh.
won't use names unless we have we used names?
Well, except I
Did
mean,
we say? Did we say
Oscar.
his? No, no, not Oscar Wilson. Oscar Wilson's our friend, but like,
Uh, I think other than if your friend, if not, I think only other one other name, but he's a mate of yours.
no, I'm talking about Aircon Boy. Do we use his
Oh,
name? Did we use his name before?
I don't think we used his name. No, I don't think we've talked about
All right,
Aircon
we'll
Boy.
call him Aircon Boy. If we have mentioned his name, then you probably already know who we're talking about. But so I think he was the only one that didn't pass. But like that was due to his
Okay.
like learning difficulties, right? And by the way, we're not calling Aircon Boy to be an insult. We did it because he was a dick to do with the aircon. We can go into that a bit to add some context, but we're not bullying this kid, and we're not making
No, we're
fun of
not.
this
We're
kid.
not.
This kid was a dick to a lot
Yeah,
of us in the class because he was a
and I've
dick.
got a story about that, which you know very well. But continue.
so the Oxfam jokes. Basically, we always had to do stuff to do with Oxfam, right? Our video editing course was like edit. What was it? Edit like a trailer for Oxfam or something at one point, wasn't it? Something like that. Was it
No,
not?
the editing was different. I can't remember what it was for.
I think of a different thing.
The
I know
editing
in our publisher we had to make an Oxfam poster.
That was it. But like it just seemed like it never stopped with Oxfam. It was always something to do with it was the teacher. He just loved Oxfam.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we won't use any names. But yeah, our teacher, what should we call him?
Oxfam boy. No, I'm joking.
Small man, bald head.
Yeah,
Small man,
exactly.
bald head.
Yeah.
Small baldy. That's what we call him. We call small baldy. So small baldy seemed to have a thing for Oxfam. Although to be fair, it may not have been him personally. It may have been part of the curriculum, but he was so
Yeah.
passionate about
Bless his
Oxfam.
heart.
For some reason. So yeah. Um. So speaking of Oxfam, do you remember when we had to do 30 hours? Oh, sorry, you probably heard my notifications go off on my PC then. Do you remember having to do 30 hours of gap, which was work experience? For those who don't know.
Yes.
Where did you do
But
yours?
I never took it from Gap. I hated Gap.
Really?
I did you?
Yeah, I got mugged off. I'll go into that, but you carry on.
Um, at the time, so like just quickly, my mum works and on and off in like
Yeah.
theatre and like in the theatre industry. So she got me some like filming stuff, uh, and some stuff like that.
Mm.
And then just all my life at college in general, I just either got help finding stuff. Yes, I cheated. Shut up. Or I just found it on my own. Um, it was just I just didn't like Gap. I never liked the people there. It was easier for me just to go off and do my own stuff
Yeah.
than what they were.
Personally, I hated the Gap people, like the people that ran it, like
Yeah.
the admin people that were doing it. There was a couple of
Mhm.
reasons why I didn't like them. Mostly because they were quite condescending.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
They were just
they were
quite.
quite. They thought they I felt like they thought they were better than us. They were like they were basically. I think the only way we can describe the way they acted is the word cunt. To be honest, because they were like huge cunts. In all honesty, because at the end of the day, like we were there to just do work experience, and they're just absolutely basically shit talking us for doing said work experience. Um,
I just also really found them just. You said condescending. That
yeah,
I always thought they were just really
yeah, they
patronizing as
were
well.
really patronizing, and like so. I remember I tried to do Gap with my dad. Um, I wasn't actually gonna do it. I just said to him, "Can I pretend I'm doing work experience with you?" And he said, "Yeah." That's probably like the most fatherly thing he's ever done for me in my life. But he said yeah. But then when I went to Gap to say that I wanted to do it with my dad, they said no, unless he signs on to be someone that does Gap. Like he has to partner up with Gap with them, with the college.
Right.
Um, so future students could do it with him as well. And I said, well, to be honest, like I was thinking about going to work with him anyway while I'm in college, so I may not have time to do Gap. And it's the same as we had a student named Issa. I will use his name because obviously we're not telling any bad stories about Issa. But Issa, he worked at McDonald's like basically full time, right? He finished college and he went to work, and then he'd go home, go to bed, wake up, go back to college again.
Yep, I remember
Respect
that.
for him, by the way. He fucking grinded, man. I think he got himself into uni as well. So fair play to him. Um, he grinded. To be fair, he made loads of money, man. He was dressed sharp. You know what I mean? He was dressed in designer clothes and everything because he made a killing, man. He grinded work and things like that. And basically the college, mostly I think it was mostly our tutor, who I won't mention her name. Um, she basically says like you need to do Gap. It doesn't matter if you work full time. You need to do Gap. It's part of the course. But he's like, I can't do it. I can't do anything about that. I I work. And then so they had to contact his manager, I think, to partner up with them to become like a Gap employer. Um,
They made it so
yeah,
difficult.
I know,
Like
right? And
honestly.
then, right, here's the sweet. Right, I got mugged off by Gap, right? I went and did an Oxfam thing. I went in to do Oxfam, right? I
Mhm.
got there. The manager was lovely. She was nice. Like I won't talk any bad words about her. I mean, there was a guy that volunteered. He was a bit iffy. Like he was a bit condescending. Um, but there was nothing bad about it. And they kind of I think the worst part was there wasn't that much that I could do. They sort of just shoved me in the back room. Do you know what I mean? Like with the stock, with all the clothes and shit. Basically, my job was to
Oh,
literally like hang up clothes and put
okay.
price tags on shit. And then the manager disappeared. Turns out she had quit, or something, or sacked. And the only one that was running the shop was that volunteer guy because she wasn't around for a while. And he was like, to
Right.
be honest, I have no idea what the hell Gap is. I have no idea who you are. I don't know what you're supposed to do. And I said, to be honest, mate, I'm literally supposed to be here for 30 hours. It's like what was it, like 5 hours a week or something for 6 weeks, something like
Yeah, something
that.
like that.
And he went, okay. He's like, well, just carry on doing what you were doing. He was like, to be honest, I got nothing for you to do because I can't actually make any executive decisions because technically I'm only a volunteer. And he's like, I can't even tell you what to do. I can just give you
Makes
advice. And
sense.
he said, just go in the back room and do what you were doing. Fun fact: I spent most of I did about, I'd say about 20 hours worth of stuff with Oxfam before Gap
Right.
told me, yeah, they're no longer partnered with Gap because the manager quit and they had to go through a different process and blah blah blah. I lost my Gap position, so I did about 20 hours that got cancelled out, so I had to do another 30 hours of Gap, right? And
Did
they
you
made it
actually
sound like it was
stop?
my fault that I hadn't finished Gap yet, right? It pissed me off. So, but so for the next, I'd say few times I went, yeah. You know what I did for the 5 hours? I
What'd
sat
you
in
do?
the back room. I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine on my phone, and that was it. And then went home because I technically wasn't allowed to do anything without the manager there. But I still had to turn up to go to Gap because Gap never actually told me about the problems they were having. I said, and then
That's
when I went to Gap and spoke to one of the people. I think there was one nice person there. There was a guy, I think he was, and he was like a really nice person. And he was like, "Okay, I'll look into it for you," right? And he's the one that told me about it. He's like, "Well, you're gonna have to do something else." And he's like, "I'm afraid you're gonna, your Gap hours are gonna have to be redone because you're gonna be somewhere new." Um, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I went to RSPCA in the end, which was another charity shop literally across the road from where the Oxfam was. I did that. I loved the boss, man. I mean, she was kind of fit. She had like a milf look to her. Very very milfy. She was hot. She was very nice, and she was like Romanian or something, proper exotic. But all in all, it was a shit experience. She was very nice. She let me off early half time. I remember I went there for 2 hours once, and she was like, I've got nothing for you to do. Do you want to just go home and I'll sign your hour sheet? And I was like, okay, thank you. She's,
great.
she was like, thank you. And yeah, I remember it was. I think it was. Um, I can't remember. I can't remember exactly what it was. Um, but I said to her, I was like, I think I had a doctor's appointment. I said, can I go early? Like my doctor's is down the road. I need to talk to my doctors afterwards, but my appointment's at this specific time, and I need to go to the doctors for this appointment. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, I can come back. And she was like, no, like, so she let me go. She's like, how long does it take to walk there? And I was like, I think it was like 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And I said to her, I was like, yeah, so like I'll leave like half an hour early, just in case. And she was like, no. She's like, you can go at 12. And I was like, are you sure? Like I've only been here. That's only 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? She was like, no, just go. I'll sign your sheet. And then she was like, you can make up the hours like some other time. And I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And she never asked me to make up the hours.
Like the greatest boss in the
Mate, because
world.
when my time was up, when I completed my 5 hours, she was the one that said, "Oh, it's time for you to go home now, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah," because then I reminded her, I was like, "What about the extra hours?" She's like, I don't really care. Like honestly, she's like, it's not fair on you to have to sit there doing nothing at job because obviously they can't do too much. They can't give you too much
How
responsibility.
how nice is she?
She was, mate. She was really nice. She was so nice. Got my Gap hours done, signed off. But like I said, man, it's like the worst experience ever. In year two, in level two, I didn't do Gap at all. We were supposed to, but I didn't do it.
Oh, I did because I was so paranoid that they were gonna like come after me.
No, the reason I didn't do it is because I told the college, I said, oh, I'm looking for a job. I'm not looking to do work experience. I'm looking for a job, a part-time job so I
Oh,
can earn some money, and I can't guarantee hours for Gap. And to be honest, they never really pestered me after that. Uh,
okay.
but I know Oscar. Oscar basically went straight to work after his Gap.
Yeah, I
He
think
did.
he
He
did as
did Gap
well.
in a
Yeah.
bar, and then he got hired, and then that was his job for a while until his current job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I wanted to just work with my dad for Gap, like not literally work with him, but use his for hours while I was studying and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was trying to do my own thing
I
on the side. Like, I wasn't trying to fucking do work experience in some shitty charity shop, man.
I only had like a few interactions with Gap just to let them know what I was doing, and then I just didn't talk to them.
Half the time they didn't give a shit.
No, I didn't like the people. I didn't like the way. Like I don't remember why I went there. I went there once to. I had to go there, but like the woman that was talking to me was just so condescending. It was just like, don't talk to
Yeah,
me like
exactly.
that.
It's
Like
like that's the thing. Is it's like
I'm not stupid.
yeah, because like I spoke to I think like two people. I think I got the same woman as you. There was a guy there that was really friendly, and he was quite nice, and he was very understanding. But there was another woman that basically sort of was more in charge.
Yeah, more of a
Yeah, and
dick.
she was a fucking prick, man. Like,
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
stick out your ass, you old hag. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is your problem? You
Please don't hold back how you feel,
no,
mate.
like, oh, mate. Mate, I want to fucking, mate, I want to start punching my desk thinking about it, man. She pisses me off. But,
Bradley was all calm before this
I was
before, and
all
then he
happy, man. I was talking to Oscar about my great views on life. Now I'm fucking mad thinking about it. But she was a bitch, man. She was a dick to everyone that I spoke to. Like, it was mad. Like, nobody wanted to go to the Gap office. Dick.
yeah, he was horrible.
Like, oh. But, I mean, overall, the college experience wasn't a bad experience.
No, it wasn't. No, I had.
I had some good times.
I think yeah, overall, I had some good times. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I think really, I hated level two IT. Absolutely despised
Yeah, I
it.
wasn't a fan of it. That's why I was thinking about going into media in level 3, which I really wish I went through with. I really
Uh,
wish. To be honest, if I did, we might have had this podcast like 5 years ago.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, just like I mean, we did editing in year two as well, which is like the only thing I
Yeah, that was
enjoyed.
literally the only thing I looked forward to was the editing part.
But like, other than that,
Like shout
it
out,
was.
shout out to our tutors, like tutor Manish. He passed me and he gave me a recommendation for level 3, even though I only got a pass. And you needed a merit, right, for like minimum. He gave me
Mother.
he gave me a pass, but he gave me a recommendation because he says he saw the effort I put in, but I just didn't quite reach
Yeah.
the grade. And then he was like, just don't let me down. I like because I saw him when I was in level 3, and I was like, he was like, yeah, I wrote it because I saw the effort you put in. I was like, yeah, I really appreciate it, thank you. And he's like, yeah, just don't let me down. And I quit like halfway through the year. But to be
Oh,
fair,
you let him down.
yeah, I mean, Manish, if you're ever listening to this, I really do apologize. You were literally the only thing I felt bad about leaving behind in college was letting letting Manish down. But
Oh,
but
how can you live with yourself?
well, I didn't want to live with myself, bro, because I was fucking depressed. Like that's what I mean. I was fucking suicidal, man. I was depressed as shit. And I just couldn't go. I couldn't motivate myself. The thing is, I was doing really well with my work, and I threw it away, man. The depression and anxiety just got the best of me, and I threw away a really good opportunity because I was succeeding in college in level 3. I was doing better in level 3 than I was in level 2, and my depression and anxiety just let me throw it all away. And like, I was a fucking idiot for letting it do that. Like, I'm not gonna make the excuse like, like there's no point regretting it now, but I was an idiot for letting it control me like that. And like, I don't let that shit happen anymore. So I took control of that, man. I took that ball by the horns and I'm slamming it into the fucking dirt. You know what I mean? So it's
That's that's the thing with depression. It can just sort of grab
yeah,
hold of
it
you and
can,
sort
man. It
of
can
just
control your entire life. It's shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, But level 1 and level 2 were definitely some of the best experiences I had in my life, because not even the classes, but the moments we had with the tutors, or the moments we had, like me, you, Oscar, me, you, Oscar Cole, me, you, Alu, everyone. Even the fucking little war with Aircon Boy, you know what I mean? It like
Hey, relax. Aircon Boy's a legend now. Relax. I'm joking.
he's not. He was a fucking dick. Um,
Hey, he's a friend of mine. Chill
he's
out.
not.
He's not. You're right. No, I'm joking. I just want to
No,
see
I
you
was gonna
react.
say, what the fuck? What was up with you? You were the one shit talking him more than I was the other day. But yeah, yeah.
I'm still in contact with Alu. I spoke to him about a week
Oh
ago.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't really
yeah.
speak to anyone except from Carl and Oscar. I speak to Oscar a lot though, and I speak to you a lot as well. Although,
Well, because like before this podcast, we were close, but like we were messaging about a week ago. This podcast sort of brought us back quite close again.
well, do you know what it was? Was we'd had some really good conversations in the past, and we were close, but we weren't like where we text every day, and that was okay because we could still have a really good conversation like weeks later. Do you know what I mean? But then we started
Yeah.
talking and we started asking each other these questions and we started really thinking about the answers that we had to say. And then we started going into more and more conversation and we started doing tangents like we do on this podcast.
Just like right now, we were talking about something, and
Yeah,
we're talking about,
exactly.
and now I'm gonna go on a tangent because I need to about
Yeah,
Aircon Boy.
exactly. I mean, Aircon Boy technically is part of the college experience. It's technically not a tangent, but we
Can you explain Aircon
the
Boy?
Aircon Boy. Let's put some context to the name. So, he always
Aircon.
fucked around with the aircon and suited it to his needs, regardless of everyone else in the room.
Oh,
I believe. I
why
believe
did it,
during the
was it
summer.
hot?
During the summer,
It was during the summer. It was
it was
hot.
hot, so we all wanted the
Yeah,
aircon on.
cool down, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
had a
yeah.
hoodie that he had
Yeah, totes.
on the back of his chair, and he kept coming.
No, no, he always wore the coat. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
Yeah,
go on.
and then every time we turn the aircon on, he would say that he's cold. Um, And then it's like, well, put your hoodie on then. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
in the fucking winter, the guy would put the aircon on and say that he's warm, and then everyone's like, take your fucking hoodie off, then, man. He's like, no, I don't want to, and it's like, well, shut up, then. Do
Fuck
you know what
off.
I mean? You could prevent something, prevent it. Don't fucking complain about it. Do you know what I mean? It's like when people complain about playing a video game, they complain about the game, but they continue to play it, and you're just like, well, stop playing it. They're like, no. And you're just like, shut the fuck up then. I'm sick of hearing it. Shut up.
So you know this story well, because I remember one time there was like the class got into like a big, not the whole class. It was basically the class versus
Yeah,
him.
pretty much.
Uh, and like the big, it was like, and like every one of you, obviously, like you were right. And I remember, I don't, th- I was just on money in my own business, and I remember the sneaky little shit. He asked me. He was like, Oscar, you agree with me, right? And then I remember, like, I felt like the whole, because I don't think I was facing you guys, but I felt like all of you were just like paying attention,
Yeah.
and I was just
We were all staring at like, you gonna say now, Oscar, huh? Are you gonna agree with this motherfucker? You gonna make an
and
enemy
I was
out of
just
the
like,
state? Hmm?
exactly. I was like, I just said to him, mate, leave it. Just put your bloody coat on if you're hot or cold, whatever it was.
Yeah, you're
And I
you're
think
very bad with confrontation, aren't you?
I don't. But it wasn't even confrontation if you think about it. Right? What, like, it was a simple thing.
No,
I
for
think
a
it was.
guy who refs wrestling matches, you sure were nervous about what people would think of you if they were gonna be
I know
mad
it's
at
the
you.
irony.
Do you know what I mean? And now, I mean, I guess you grew out of it, I guess, didn't you? So
Well, if yeah, because I'm refereeing now.
yeah.
Yeah, I have to deal with conflict on a semi-regular basis.
Exactly, like yeah, because I remember that day you were just like sitting there, and I felt like you gave off such a nervous energy, like you didn't know what to say next. Like if you said the wrong thing, the whole entire class is gonna like beat you up, and you just like
Yeah, that.
Alright, I just want to put out there, right? This guy he did have a disability, but
Yeah,
No one ever took the mick out of him for that disability. The reason people didn't like him
yeah.
and gave him shit was because he was actually a dick to a lot of us. Like,
And I
he was
always say,
selfish and a dick to a lot of people, even though we basically asked him nicely, can you please stop turning off the aircon? It's summer, it's fucking hot, you know. And then he was like, no, I'm cold. I was like, but put your hoodie on then, you know? And then basically he would refuse to help himself. So then we just decided, you know, we're sick of your shit, mate. Like, you can't just treat people like trash just because, you know, you have a learning difficulty or special needs. Like, you can't just treat people like trash, even though you've been told, you know, you can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, there comes a point where it's not my problem. Because I've said this story before, and people assume that we were bullying this kid when I told the story before,
right.
and I said no, like he's just a dick. He was a dick to her. Even the tutor had to go at him for doing it because he was just being a dick to everyone. Like,
I always think that, you know, if you have a learning difficulty or disability, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna, such as yourself, um, you know, you're not gonna be judged. However, that doesn't give you the excuse or the reason or excuse to be a
I
dick.
don't really think any of us judged each other or anything, really, did we? On how we
Oh,
acted.
I judged you on a daily
Oh,
basis. I'm joking.
thank you. Depends on what you judge me for. It depends on whether this podcast ends right here or not. Um, but like, yeah, we never really judged each other. You know what I mean? Like, there was no racism because obviously it was a lot of mixed characters.
Let me ask you this because it happens with me a lot. Like, when I ever meet new
Mm.
people, when I say I judge, I don't mean as in, but it's because like I'm surrounded by new people. So I didn't. So like for example, when I first obviously came there, um, I wasn't judging you in that sense, but I think it's just because you guys were new. Does that make sense? Like, do you ever
Well,
have
yeah,
that?
you
Like where
you
you
obviously
sort of
build up a character in your mind of that person so you really get to know them. Like, you know, I've had like I'm gonna use my previous relationship as an example right now. Okay.
Mhm.
My ex girlfriend actually hated me before she got with me because
Okay.
I gave off this arsehole persona, and you know that I do that. You know that I can be an arsehole, even if I'm being funny. I can be an arsehole and I can be
Yeah.
sarcastic and I can really like piss people off if I really wanted to.
But that's your personality.
Huh?
But that's your personality.
But
That's you.
yeah, that's what I do. But like when it comes to the people that I'm friends with and stuff, like I'm actually caring and I'm nice. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I care about their opinions on things and things like. And when she started speaking to me on that level, she was really shocked, and she said that's what initially made me attractive to her was it was just a really big shock on the personality difference to my online sort of persona compared
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like that's what I mean is like that's the thing you make those kind of judgments right without actually really knowing someone, which is fair enough. Everyone does it. There's no point saying that not everyone does it. Everyone does it. Do you know what I mean? Like first impressions are pretty much everything, right? Like you could be the
Mhm.
nicest of guys, but if the first time I met you, you made a like fucking Holocaust joke, I'm gonna be like, Jesus Christ, what
Yeah.
that for? You know, that
Yeah.
was a bit dark, bro. I don't
Yeah.
fucking know you. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like if we're best mates and you make a bit of a dark joke, and I'm like, Jesus, mate, calm down. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I know that's like, you know, sometimes you make a dark joke, sometimes you... just I'm not. I'm gonna put it out there. Oscar does not make Holocaust jokes. I'm not saying that Oscar does.
Nope.
I'm just saying. I'm using it as an example. Okay, don't, before you think Oscar
You're gonna get hate for this, mate.
before Oscar before Oscar gets any hate for making Holocaust jokes, he does not do such a thing. He just
Oh,
it was an
we're,
example.
we're gonna we're gonna get flagged.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a banned episode. Unheard episodes. But yeah, so like you know, like we never really judged. Over time, we obviously all got to know each other, didn't we? And we didn't judge it. Like I said,
Mhm.
there was no like racism. I mean, there was
Nope.
jokes from Sam. Sam was a black guy. He would make jokes, you know, like he would pull the race card as you say, like you know, like what's because I'm black, it's because I'm black, like you know, like as a
I
joke.
vaguely
Yeah,
remember that.
like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
explaining what the word whitelist and blacklist meant, you know, when you blacklist someone or you whitelist someone, he was like, "Why is
Yeah.
blacklist got to be bad?" huh? He's like, you're racist, and he was calling me racist all day, but like obviously he was joking. You know what I mean? We never really
Yeah,
judged
yeah,
each
of
other,
course.
and we had people of different religions in our class. You know, we had people that are part of Islam, people that are part of is it Judaism? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we had
yeah, yeah.
I think we had one person who was Catholic. You know, we had people from the Middle East who grew up in places I think it was Jordan. We had people that grew up in I think we had someone that was in from Pakistan at one point. And things like that. The
Yeah,
only thing
it's
we
really
never really had in the class was a girl.
well, we're
It was a
IT
fucking
geeks.
sausage fest. But in level 3, we had one girl, right? And she was friends with this guy. But the second he left to do something else, she left as well to do business studies. Um,
Oh, okay.
she was literally the only girl in the class. I felt so bad. It must be so daunting to be in a class just full of guys. But basically, for the first 2 years, we were pretty much a sausage fest, right? That was like the only person. That's the only group of people that was not in our class was was a woman,
Yeah,
a woman.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah. And then there was there's Cole, good old Cole. I love Cole. Very opinionated guy, but I
I
loved him.
oh, he pissed me off bad.
Really?
Uh,
What, Cole pissed
yeah.
you off?
Not personally, but like in like level 2, just his constant opinions were just annoying.
But I mean, I respect Cole for that though. I mean, yeah, like
I
me.
think
To be fair, me, Oscar, and Cole have had like our fair share of arguments. Not necessarily me and Oscar, but me, Oscar against Cole based on his opinions. And when we say that, we're not when we say he's opinionated, we don't mean like he's against anything, right? He's I'd say he's more like anti government, like
he's a
not in a
fucking
terrorist way,
prick.
but like he's more like he hates politicians a lot, and he has a lot of opinions on it. And I respect him because he never backs down from his opinion, and he will stand strong with his opinion. I respect him on that, and
Yeah.
he will always defend himself when it comes to his decision. But it's when he used to argue with the teachers. Like that's when it was like, Carl, come on, buddy, enough, man. We're just trying to do IT here. I love the guy severely. That he was a good guy deep down. He was a good friend. I say it's like he's dead, but no,
Yeah, what the
yeah,
hell,
no,
man?
he's a good guy. He deep down, and
He's not dead,
yeah, he's
guys.
a good
He's alive.
friend. Same with Oscar. Like a lot of you wouldn't know Oscar deep down unless you really got to know him. Not you, Oscar. I don't care about you, Oscar. The other Oscar. You're just my business partner. I don't care about you on a personal level. Uh,
Guys, we're not really friends
yeah,
at all.
we're
We
not
just
actually friends. We just went to college with each other and we were like, yeah, let's make a business out of this. Um, no,
uh, we actually have a deep-rooted
yeah,
hatred
well,
for each other.
we actually had so many
Well,
fights in college. We're looking for business opportunities. That's all. I don't think we've ever had an argument, have we?
not that I could. No, you know what? I think it's one of those things where we're both. No, I don't think. No, I mean, no. We can have one right now. I just don't.
Yeah, shall we? Alright, what's something we disagree on?
You know what, Bradley? You're a dickhead.
Like, I can't disagree on that
Oh, fuck you.
though.
This is time dark. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. The thing is, I think that it's because we both, I think it's because we both respect each other's opinions, regardless of them.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we're both
Yeah, yeah.
open-minded people. You might have a view against someone that I don't share the same view, but we respect each other for that.
I think that's important
I think it's because
in.
we can have a good discussion about it without having to change opinions, and we can.
Yeah, we can discuss stuff, and we might not necessarily agree with it, but it's like, okay, cool, next
Yeah,
sort of
like
thing.
like like I don't agree with that. It's like oh really? Like yeah, well, I think that. I think that. It's like oh yeah, fair enough. Let's move on to a different subject. Which I think every fucking conversation should be. If you disagree with something, I mean, unless you say say to me something like severely and utterly racist, and I say, bro, you can't say that, and you're like, I can, like, that's my point. I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, buddy. I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. Do you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
if you have like a genuine sort of opinion or view on something, but to be honest, we've never really gone into detail about certain views on things.
I mean, I remember, and we were talking about arguments, whatever. I remember on when you were streaming,
Hmm?
I'd pop in, and I don't remember if it might have been you and Oscar who might have had some back and forth. Nothing bad.
Yeah,
Was it him? I can't remember. It might have been
me
him.
and
It might
Oscar,
have been him. He's
the
the one.
thing is, Oscar's the same. Me and Oscar are the same. We can go back and forth, but at the end of the day, man, we'll be friends.
No, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
Was it
It
like a
was.
conversation?
It was. I think it was more like a debate more
Yeah,
than
that's the
anything.
thing. I feel like debates and arguments are different things, right? You can have a heated debate and it still not be an argument. Me and Oscar have had plenty of heated debates, but at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, we end the conversation and we're still friends because we respect it. You know?
Can a debate? Can a debate turn
Yeah,
into an
of course it
argument?
can.
Because then
Of course, yeah, of course.
that's when it like crosses a not a line. But
I think that when it starts turning into an argument, the conversation needs to stop entirely, and it should never be brought up
yeah.
again. Especially like, I'll give an example for that. My family, I've had some family that didn't want to be vaccinated, and I have some family that was so like very for the vaccination, right?
Oh, for the
Yeah.
COVID vaccine.
So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna say who and things like that, but there was a lot of falling out over it, and a lot of arguments to the point that they stopped talking to each other for a while.
Oh bloody hell.
And I sort of put my foot in, and I was like, listen, right? It's not something you should be talking about as a family. Politics and things like that, politics and religious views and things like that, unless you share the same religious view, keep it out of the family. Don't be that.
Yeah.
Don't be that one fucking uncle at a Christmas dinner that has to share his political view. Nobody gives a fuck about your political views. We're family.
Hmm.
Just enjoy life together. Do you know what I mean? Just love each other. And at the end of the day,
Something like
people deserve the right for their opinion. Like, you know, the one family member had a completely different opinion to another family member, and I was neutral because for me it's like I got the vaccine to protect my mum mostly and myself because, well, I am diabetic, so I'm glad I kind of got it, you know, just in case. Um,
oh, it was vulnerable.
yeah, well, I'm considered vulnerable, right? Because I'm diabetic, but I was actually
Yeah.
not diagnosed with diabetes until afterwards. But you know, it's always good to know now.
You get it.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, I'm vulnerable from for the flu as well. I need to get my flu shots every year, so it's the same thing. Um, but you know, I said, you know, like if they don't want to get it, they don't need to get it. You know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, you know, the other family member was like, yeah, but, you know, it will protect them and blah, blah. I was like, listen, we're family. Vaccination or not, stop arguing about it. There's no point arguing about it. The same with politics, man. Politics can get quite heated in my family as well. Because
Right.
some of my family members are quite like, you know, they're very for the royal family. They love the royal family kind of thing, which is fair enough. They grew up like
Yeah.
that. But like my mum's quite patriotic. She loves the royal family, but personally myself, I don't really care too much
Same
because I
here.
guess I haven't grown up with a monarch necessarily. I've grown up with the government more than the monarch. For me, the royal family are more of a fucking tourist attraction. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
not be opposed to the monarch becoming more involved in the ruling of the country, but I'd be happy for that. You know, that at the end of the day, they are our royal family. They are the royals, the queen, the king. You know, princes. Like, you know, you do you. But you know, and I've had that debate with my mum. But at the end of the day, that was a debate that didn't end in an argument, which it should have been like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it shouldn't. It like when you said a heated debate can get into an argument. Of course it can, especially if you're very strongly opinionated on that view, right? or the view is entirely, I don't know, biased, I guess. Like I said, say if you're having an argument with someone that's homophobic, and say they were like say there
Oh,
was you had a really good friend, and they were like, and they were really against like same sex marriage and things, and then they were like,
yeah.
you can respect that view, but at the end of the day, there's a very good chance that kind of thing would end in an argument because
Being there,
it's such a different view. Like it's such a big thing to have a different opinion on to be friends with. Um, I feel like that's the
yeah.
one
I
thing.
think,
That's those sort of things that can end the friendship because, like I said, it's such a big thing, such a big subject, and if you have different views on it, you're basically on one side and then on the other. Do you know what I mean? You can't really come to an understanding. Like if someone said to you,
yeah,
being gay is wrong, and you're like, why is it wrong? Like,
because you're at like different you're on different ends of the
yeah,
spectrum, kind of thing.
there's no
Like
in between, really, is there?
I'm okay with that.
Like, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong,
but
right? Like, I have nothing against gay people at all. It makes it sound like I'm gonna say something really homophobic after this. No, I've got nothing against gay people. But it's the same as everyone. I've got nothing against people that go to that make going to the gym their lifestyle. That are obsessed with the gym. I've got nothing against people that are obsessed with Star Wars, obsessed with Lord of the Rings, obsessed with wrestling. But you know what it's
yeah,
like, and if it becomes your personality, then I don't give a shit to hear it. Like, mate, don't shove it in people's face. Like, there's so much more to you. Don't make it your personality. That's when I have a problem with anything. Is when it just becomes the main focus of someone's life. You know what I mean? And I think
well, like
a lot
them.
of people share that view. I have gay
Well,
family members, right? I have lesbian family members. I have bi family members. I have bi friends, gay friends, trans friends. I'm not gonna say who because I don't think they've actually come out publicly. Um, you know, so and like I've accepted every single one of them because it doesn't define who they are as a person. They're still a
I
person.
think you mentioned transgender. I think there's a whole other
Oh,
can of worms. You know what I mean? Because you know we were talking. You just mentioned opinions and people that are. I'm not gonna go on too long because I think this could go
yeah.
on forever. But I think people who are against transgender, see that puzzles my mind. But then at the end of the day, that's their view,
Yeah,
sort of
that's the
thing.
thing, right? It's especially the events going on at the moment in America.
Hmm.
People are very opposing, polarized views. At the end of the day, you have your opinion. Stick with your opinion. I will respect you your opinion. I will not bully you for your opinion, but I will not accept it if you try and force your opinion on others.
Yeah, absolutely
If
not.
you
No, no, no,
try
no,
and
no.
force anything on other people, that's when I have a problem. Like I said, but when people make it their personality to be gay or make it their personality to be trans, but don't do that because you're just shoving it in people's face and you're going to make them resent that kind of lifestyle. Whereas, like I said, I've got trans friends who you should be supporting trans people, not you should be like you don't have to be open. Like that sounds really bad if I say that. Um, you should be happy with that who you are and support others going through the same thing. And I think everyone should support that. But if you come to a point where you're like, that's all you're making yourself out to be. That's the only thing you've got going for you. Then it becomes like, what the fuck, you know?
You know, you mentioned um like I think you just mentioned like once people make with like bullying remarks, or not bully, but like
Yeah.
hateful remarks, like push it. So there is an openly transgender professional wrestler
Right.
right now, and like, she born a man, now a woman, and she wrestles in the women's division. It's fine. And she does the opposite. She doesn't push it. She obviously in interviews. I don't know why she's still interviewed about it. Like it's not on it's not a closed secret. But like she doesn't bring it into wrestling. She just wrestles, and
So I
it's
mean, I've
great.
got bi friends, right? I have a bi friend, and he doesn't make it his personality. He is who he is. He is the person he is. He's my friend, and the reason I'm friends with him is because of his personality, not because of his sexual
Yeah,
orientation, not because of his gender.
and
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I don't care if you're pansexual, homosexual, bisexual. I don't care if you're non-binary, male, female. You know, transgender woman, cis woman. Like, I don't. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, like, I'm not. I don't really know a lot of the pronoun sort of stuff. You know, because I've never really had. I've never really been educated on it because nobody's really educated me on it. I've just accepted people for what they want to be. So it's like, you
right.
know, so I don't care who you are. If you're a good person, a good human being, then I don't give a shit what you do.
But it's the same with this transgender wrestler. But the problem I have is not with her, is with the comments, because there are still people out there who are gonna call her out and just say, "Oh, she's a man. She should be in the men's division." It's like, no, she's a woman now. Leave
I
her
will
alone.
openly say this to anyone that asks me. I will happily admit that I am attracted to many trans women out there. There are trans
Right.
women
Okay.
who I find extremely attractive, and I'll publicly say that. Like they're women. You know what I mean? They're women to me. They're not a woman to you, then you do that. That's your view. That's your opinion. Keep it to yourself. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm 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 curious because maybe I go about it. Obviously, I don't tweet these people at all. It's no point.
no, there's no point.
But
There's no
it
point talking to these
it
people.
it it doesn't bug me. But like in terms of like, do you not think it's? And I'm talking about just the situation I was mentioning. Do you not think it's just like um it's just like it's just time to just like accept. I'm not talking about you, but these people who attack her, like let her be. She's a wrestler now. She's a
For
female.
me,
That's it.
right, it's
That's all
like
there is.
it doesn't hurt you.
Right? Yeah.
It's like a
Why is
like
it bugging?
it's like the same thing. Like I said, it can be the same with gay people, straight, especially straight people with the whole straight pride shit. Like what the fuck, you know, straight people, trans
Yeah.
people, gay people, bisexual people, lesbians. You know, like I said, it can even be Star Wars fans. Do you know what I mean? If you're making that your
Yeah.
entire personality, that's all that's going for you, then don't be shoving it in people's faces because that's gonna make them hate you. That's gonna make them despise that part of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I know a
Yeah.
lot of the people will agree. You know, if they talk to a gay guy and all he does is make his entire personality about being gay, right? Then they're
Yeah.
like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean? I'm not being homophobic.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like, I don't care. Like, you're boring. You're boring as a person. Whereas if you're a gay person, you have a personality. Of the people I know that are gay and have great personalities, and they're great people in general, right?
Yeah.
And they, you know, obviously you openly support other gay people. That's perfectly fine. You can, like, I had a bit of a discussion with one of my friends about how they don't like the idea of the LGBT plus community. Was it LGBTQ plus community? Sorry, they don't like the
Yeah.
idea of that because they feel like they it separates them from other people. And I said,
Ah. That's
but
interesting.
I said to them, I was like, no, it's more about um, it's not about them separating themselves from other people. It's about them being proud of who they are, overcoming oppression, right? Overcoming the past oppressions throughout history for gay people. I mean, look at ancient Greece, right? It wasn't the best, but at least they fucking accepted gay people. You know, the
Do
gods,
you?
even the ancient Greek gods, was shagging men and women alike.
Yeah.
Hercules was bisexual. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Where the fuck did all the hate come from? That's what I want to know.
Do you do you think? Because it just came into my mind now, and it's not. I don't mean it as like a negative. Do you think like that it kind of, but it's like almost like a label. Like if LGBTQ, it's fine, but like, do you not think that's just like too, because I'm thinking what your friend just said. It's almost, isn't it like a label sort of? Because like you're sort of making like a separate. I don't know.
Think of
Maybe
it
I'm
as a
not thinking about
community,
it right.
right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Let's look at it as more. Let's People look at it as a fucking organization. The best thing to look at it is a community of people. You know, um, let's think of it as these people are stepping away from the societal norm of a man and a woman
Mhm.
procreating. Right? There's
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
men
Yeah.
and men, women and women. You know, there's people pansexual, asexuals. I mean, asexual. I don't know why anyone could hate an asexual because I'm pretty sure asexual is just where you don't want sex, or like sex isn't something that you want or something. I think I may be wrong on that. I apologize if I'm wrong about that, but that's what I think it is. Like, how the hell can you hate on someone that claims they're asexual? Like, they don't want sex with anyone, so there's nothing to hate on.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I don't know why straight men hate on gay guys, because at the end of the day, it takes out the competition for women.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like biologically, how are gay people, like, how can you say gay people aren't biologically a naturally occurring thing? Because surely it may be considered things. It could be considered like a biological thing for, you know, not population control, but like to limit. Like like, say, let's just say like three gay guys. So three guys are born straight, and there's one guy that's born gay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature is basically saying, here's another human being, but he's not attracted to a woman, so he won't procreate with a woman. But these three guys
Mhm.
will, to carry on the species. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
way it's just a fucking choice. And like I said, just consider it like a community. They're coming over oppression over the years, and it's not it. That's when it, like, if they label it as themselves, that's when when it's their whole personality and they're just labeling themselves as part of this community.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a personality. But like if you're gay, obviously you're part of this community. But I think it's more. I think it's more. I think its goal is to be more of a safe space for people that are going through those things.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
That's one thing I was
Yeah.
trying to explain to my friend about. It was like, it's not it's not them separating themselves. It's them having somewhere that they can consider home. Supportive home with
Like a safe
like-minded
space.
people. Because
Yeah.
um, you can be an ally. I think it's called, right. Um, and it's trying to pick the right words because it can be a very sensitive subject.
You wouldn't get hate, man.
I'm just gonna put it out there, right? You can hate on me, but I openly support all of that. All of that. That
Yeah,
sounds
man.
so fucking. It sounds like I'm trying to fucking make up for something. Oh no, no, no! I support all of that. No, like, I genuinely, support the the community. I genuinely do. So,
Mhm.
and it's I I
You know what I realized? I've been deadly quiet. This is such a bad look for
yeah,
me.
no, I know I know why you're quiet. It's because you're genuinely interested in hearing it, because you want to hear what. Well, I mean, you asked me a question like, do you not consider it a label? I
Yeah.
say, look at it's less like an enforcement on a gay person to be part of this community, more of like a choice. They have a community there of people that are going through the same things, that are going through having to come out as a homosexual, or coming out as to identify as trans.
Yeah.
and someone like people that will support them through that. Because at the end of the day, man, uh, a, a woman that was born as a like biologically born as a man. I hope I said that right. I don't want to upset anyone. Um,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, she would have gone through a bit of an identity crisis.
Yep.
Um, so that is where the community part comes in, because you can be an ally. I think allies are considered part of that community, right? I think, and you can be a straight person and an ally for that community. So you're part of that community with them, because you're supporting. So instead of it being like you have to be gay to be a part of this community, or it's like if you're gay, you are part of this community no matter what, right? It's more like
Yeah.
it's a community of these people, like-minded individuals that try and support each other. It's like um a lot of movements, right? You don't have to be specifically the targeted person to create a movement, create like to be a part of these movements. Like you know, um, like civil rights. Yeah, you don't have to be
Yep.
someone that suffers to support it. So they're
Yep.
not separating you from it. They're just a community that are helping each other through that situation. I think I'm rambling a bit now because I'm trying to get my point across, but I don't know how to say it.
No, 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 no.
Um, so instead of like,
You're.
it's not labeling them. It's not like separating them. It's a way like because you can be gay, you're part of this community, but you can also be part of fucking. You can be part of the Tesco Club Card community. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're a fucking Tesco Club. You're not labeled as a Club Card user. You know what I mean? But you're part of this community that knows what you're going through and what is there to help support you. And as a straight man myself, I'd like to think of myself as an ally. And if
Yep.
me being an
Same.
ally means technically I'm part of that community too, then where's the separation? If you support it, where's the
Mhm.
separation? That's a bit like
I'm.
saying Black Lives Matter, right? That's like saying
Mhm.
you have to be black to support the Black Lives Matter movement. Like you don't. You can be a white person to
Nope.
do that too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, it can be anyone that supports that, and you can be a part of that community. It's not to do with what you were born as, or your orientation or your skin color. It's more about your choice. Because at the end of the day, there are gay people
Yeah.
that don't support a lot of the things that the LGBTQ plus community do. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
look at those people that call themselves maps, which are basically pedophiles, right? They're trying to
Okay.
join that community,
Taking.
and everyone else is saying "fuck off." You cannot use the years of oppression that we've gone through as a cover for your pedophilia, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
I get you.
it's a community of people that have gone through these like atrocities, man. Like shit, man. Gay people, trans people have gone through so much shit throughout the years. It's it it's just a
I don't.
home,
I just
just a
never.
home, right?
I've just never. I've just never understood, and I'm not. And I've never will try to understand, but the hate for it. It's so not needed.
I mean, I'd say
Yeah.
there's like three types of people that hate these kind of things. There's people that don't understand it, so
Okay.
they hate it. There's people that have grown, that have been in this environment, that has environmentally they've been around homophobia, racism, things like that, right? And it's ingrained in them. These are the types of people that can also change. I can openly admit, right, as a younger person, I never really understood any of it, so I was more like inclined to like not hate it, but like just not give a shit about what people have been through. Like if you're gay, I don't care. Whatever you do, don't rub it in my face. That kind of thing. Yeah. But as I've grown up, I've
Yeah.
understood it. You know, I've met gay people, I've known gay people, I've known, you know, lesbians, I've known trans people, and that sort of changed my opinion on a lot of it. Like, you know, when my friend came out to me as trans, he he was born a female.
Yeah.
Now he's a male, and he came out to me and was like, "Mate, to be honest, I don't care. You're still my friend because I'm friends with you for who you are." That's the thing is, that's what I said.
Hmm.
People that don't understand, they don't understand it, and they don't get to know these people. And then thirdly, it's usually the biggest one is religion.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a.
Biggest scam of them all.
I've seen, I've seen clips of that. Yeah. Yeah.
You're religious, fair enough, but
It's
don't shove your ideologies on other people.
it's just at the end of the day, these people
They're
are still
human beings,
people.
man.
They
They're
have
not
ego.
hurting you. Just
Yeah.
accept it, you know? That's
They're
what I
just
mean.
living
Like,
their life.
I
Let them
like
do it.
it's crazy though. It's like there'll be people out there that hate on two men having consensual sex, you know, like making love, yeah? But then they'll go home to their
Yeah.
wives, you know, or like there'll be like straight people who do the most fucked up shit in the bedroom to each other, and yet basically
Yeah.
say kink shaming is wrong.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah. Yeah.
if you can allow your wife to shit on you, buddy, why the fuck are you judging two guys for having consensual sex? Like,
Okay.
bro, white people are weird. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
What is this podcast turning
It's
into?
the truth, damn it. But no, like that's what I mean. Like they can judge two people that are in love, making love, but then there are people that literally will be on the same sort of boat, but then they'll have like fucking. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I'm not even gonna go into it because to be honest, like we're talking about fucking a church hating on gay people, but yet the priests are molesting boys. Like, what the fuck happened with that? You hate gay people, but you're molesting young boys. Like, what? So that's why we're not gonna go into it because I will get heated. Not at you, obviously, just about the subject as a whole.
So
Oh my god, it gets me
when we
going.
when we said we can take a dark turn into
Yeah.
this is what we mean. We can go into
All I'm saying is support the rights of human beings. Like I've always said, right, as long as it's two consenting adults, they're happy, why should I care? Literally anything.
yeah. Why should anyone care?
I
Sort of
literally
thing.
don't care what people do if they're consenting. Why should I judge? Like I don't care what you do, like anything. Name one thing and I will accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You wanna fuck your
Hey.
sister, bro? I ain't gonna fucking judge you if you consent into it. Like you do you, man. I ain't gonna do that shit.
Jesus, dude. Come on, mate.
I'm just gonna ignore you. Like, do you know what I mean? You do what you want to do, right?
You didn't
Oh
need to
yeah,
give
it's a
that
bit of a
example.
weird example, right? Right, okay, we'll go with this one.
No.
No, but like for real, like, I don't care as long as it's two adults that both agree on what they're doing. Then you do you. You know, stop hating on people for what they want to do. Like, support gay rights, support lesbian rights, support trans rights. I mean, you know, trans women are women to me. So we move.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey.
give a shit.
Uh,
Hey man, for me, right? As long as you got a good head game, I don't care who you are. We down. We down tonight. That goes for you too, Oscar.
I'm lost now. We went on this dark
Yeah, we went really
tangent.
dark. Might have to re-record.
Not my fault. Not my fault. Not my fault, guys. This is you can blame Bradley for that one.
What
Sorry.
happened to talking about college?
Yeah, I know, right? That's a problem. We were talking about college, and
This is
then
why we'll never title. This is why we'll never ever name our episodes. We'll just call them episode 1, 2, 3, and just carry on like that. But
you know what? We should just rename the podcast to Tangents.
yeah, maybe we should.
The
Conversation and
Tangent Hour.
tangents. What it should be. But no, like, okay, let's get back on topic. We went really down a really dark path.
We're never on
Sorry.
topic.
Let's. I mean, like I said, we to be fair, we were talking about what we disagree on. We technically never disagreed on any of that. And
No, no,
you
you're
asked
right.
quite an
Yeah, yeah.
interesting question. You know,
But
like, wouldn't you consider it a label? So
actually, to be honest, this is my fault then, because I actually
yeah.
kicked that whole thing off. So that's
Bro, you kicked me off on a very, very, a very intense subject. I will continue.
you was very happy about life, and then I just got you.
I'm so happy about life,
heated.
man. I love life. I love are in my life. So I'm so happy. That's fine. I just like. I mean, I like heated debates, but I feel like we went way off topic.
Hey, oh, hey, it's all good, man. This is what
But
this is
happy
about.
Pride Month to everyone, by the way. I
Going,
know it's very late, but
going balls to the wall. I shouldn't have said that one.
balls to the wall.
Fuck.
I don't think I've ever been balls to the wall, to be
It's
honest.
got.
Maybe arse cheeks to the wall, but not balls to the wall.
Okay, alright, alright. I really hope my family never
I'm gonna
heard this.
message your mum on Facebook and be like, hey, did you know your son does a podcast? She's gonna hear it, she's like, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck are these two talking about?
You know, message that first name, like, who's this guy
Like,
messaging me?
Oscar, who is this?
What's this balls to the wall you're talking
Since
about?
whenever do you put your balls to the wall, huh?
I'll tell you what.
Fuck it. Yeah, bro, stop starting me off with fucking deep subjects, man, because I will go on and on, alright?
Hey, hey, listen, it's
It's all
fine,
good,
man. It's all
you know?
good. Like, it's all good. You know what? You should just have a podcast of your own where you just rant to people,
Do you know, alright, at the end, alright,
and then
overall, at the end of all of that, just one statement, and that's just love people, man. Treat people with respect and love them. That's it.
oh, I was gonna
Accept
ask you a
people who
question, but then
eat
I think
pineapple on pizza. That's a bit fucking weird. I don't know why you would do that. Do you know what? Actually, that shame. Some people do deserve shame, and that is one of them. Because you are disgracing an entire nation of Italy for doing that.
you hear that, people. I
Yeah,
hope you're happy with yourself.
you
You're
pissed off
disgracing
Italy.
Italy.
Well done. Actually, do you know what? Fuck Italy. They knocked us out of the fucking Euros. They can suck my wiener. They can suck my British banger of a sausage. Oscar, can I ask you your views on something?
I've lost control of my
Pineapple on
own
pizza,
podcast
yes or
here.
no?
No,
You just saying that.
no, it's generally
Alright, what's your favourite food?
no.
Yep.
Favorite food? Um, you know what? I really like curry,
What kind of curry?
chicken curry.
What
And I
kind of
like it
chicken
hot as
curry?
well.
Bro, do you know how many fucking curries there are in this world? Wait, do you know what? Speaking of food, right? Speaking of Asian food, I've been watching, started watching Uncharted with Gordon Ramsay, where he goes around the world. Bro,
Ooh,
he went to Indonesia, I think it was, and he had this thing called beef.
yeah.
I think it's rendang or something. I think that's how you say it. Rendang. Oh my fucking god, it looks beautiful. And me and my sister were like, "Yo, we have to look for something. We have to look for an Indonesian place, bro. The nearest Indonesian restaurant, yeah, with beef rendang, is an hour's drive from her house.
Not too bad.
No, but like neither of us drive, and
Oh,
it's a
that's the problem.
2 hour train journey. I mean, her
Fucking
my
hell.
brother-in-law does drive. Um, when
Get
he's
him to drive.
up north. Um, But yeah, like we're gonna go try it. It's pretty cheap actually. If it's any good, I'll give it a shout on the podcast. But if it's shit, I'm gonna berate it. But what we want to do is try it and then see if we can make it ourselves. But oh my god, Google it. It looks so good. My favorite.
What's your favorite food?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, like I love British food. You know, like Chinese or Indian. Joking.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone got that reference. Did you get a reference? Have you ever seen Come Fly With Me? Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
have, yeah.
He's like, no, I like it. I like British food in it, and he's like, you know, like curry or Indian. Or no, it wasn't. It's like Chinese or pizza in it. Oh my god. I love that.
Bradley's dying here.
Got a bit of air trapped in the wrong hole there. But yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Not the first time I sunk trapped in the wrong hole.
Okay, alright.
So alright, so you love a chicken curry then? Alright, okay.
Yeah.
So this is where it makes or breaks this podcast. Whether we end it here or
Well, how long have we
1
been
hour and
going
11
for?
minutes. No, I meant like entirely. Like we'd stop being friends.
Oh, okay, well, fair
What's
enough.
your
Well,
pizza order?
God. Like in general, I mean, I'm a very
I
simple
would say
guy, but
pepperoni.
no. I just I like a good old margarita.
Okay, well this has been What's on Your Mind podcast. Season finale and last ever fucking episode. Do you know what, bro? I respect that. Margarita is nice. Do you dip it in any sauce or anything?
But no. Yeah, this has been the final episode, guys. It's been
You
fun,
really are a
but
simple guy, aren't you?
but, hey, Bradley just sent me a really hateful message I
Yeah.
don't like. He's
In
called
the
me.
background, I just sent him an absolute utter hate message, bro. Fucking, I just committed a hate crime to
he's just
Oscar right now, for real.
he just called me the biggest cunt in the world, so I can't really talk to him
Well,
anymore.
it is what it is. I don't think I've ever called you a cunt, have I? I think, what's the worst thing I called you? Probably like a bastard or something. I don't think I've ever called you something that bad, to be honest. I don't think I've ever really insulted you, but on a personal level, to be honest.
No, just accept. Like right now, guys, I'm getting loads of messages.
Yeah.
So he's typing to me as he's talking. It's disgraceful. I can hear him typing.
Oscar, you don't have long hair anymore, do you? Yeah,
Fuck,
man.
do you remember the long hair?
Speaking of college, let's go back to college. Oscar had long hair in college.
Yeah, go.
He
I
had
had fucking
beautiful
long hair. It was
locks
horrible.
of hair. Bruv, do you know who
Who?
you look like? What's his name?
Who?
Oh, I can't remember. Oh shit. I can't remember the
My
name.
hair was a mess.
You got short hair now.
My
though,
hair was a
right?
mess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I keep it short.
looking dapper with that short hair, bro.
Although last July, yeah, I got like really like I've had it done before,
Like a
like
buzz
really
cut.
short hair and
I had a
almost.
buzz
I
cut.
mean, it looked like
Yeah,
I was
I had a
joining the
buzz
army.
cut when during lockdown. I looked like a criminal. All I needed was tattoos, and I'd look like a biker because of my beard. Because my beard's much bigger than it was in college, and you know that, right? So, remember my beard in college? How small it was?
Yeah, you got
Oh,
a
mate,
good beard
yeah.
now.
Do you know what? Speaking of making things your personality, my beard is pretty much my personality at this point. That's literally what I've got going for me is my beard.
Hey, you can make YouTube videos about your beard.
Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to be combing my beard. Yeah.
The bearded vlog.
The bearded vlogs. Love that. But,
Hey, it's unique,
bro,
man.
it would be unique. Actually, do you know what? I don't know if it would be. There's a lot of guys out there that make facial hair their personality. So,
Speaking of vlogs, I tried to not film a vlog, but I tried to do something similar, and it
oh
was
really?
fucking horrendous. it just didn't work. Like, cause like what like my so my brother went to
Hmm.
Ireland a few weeks ago, and like he filmed like clips on his phone, like showing
Yeah.
his journey. Um, and like he cut it together like quite. There's no fancy transitions or anything, and I really like that style. I was like, oh, this is great.
Like documentary
So I
style.
went to Margate.
I love.
Well,
You know what?
the
I
only
love
difference.
documentary style
Yeah,
editing.
I mean, well, the only difference was like it was
Yeah, so
quick
it's like a
cut, so it
jump cut
wasn't
sort of thing.
anything fancy. Yeah, and I tried to do that, but the problem was like I don't know, just it was only 45 seconds, and then it was just it didn't just yeah. You know when you get that? I don't know if you ever had this. Like sometimes like I'll get like a gut feeling about a video. It's like this isn't good, so I just got rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that where I've edited it like initially as I'm editing, I'm like, yeah, this worked, this will. And then when I look back on it, I'm like, you know what, this is kind of dog shit. You know what I mean?
Um, it was annoying too because like I was really looking forward to it because I thought this is something new I could do, but it was
Well,
only like
well,
45
when I was doing
seconds. That's the
training
problem.
as an editor, I was told that learning documentary editing was probably the best bet going forward because you can obviously adapt it to certain things, but documentaries are so common. You can get a lot of work as a documentary editor. I love them.
But this wasn't like a documentary. This was more of just
Yeah,
like
just like a
a
quick sort
trip.
of preview, right? Like a
Yeah,
of his holiday sort of thing.
but yeah, so I liked that. But then when I did it, it just to be honest, he was in there for like a few days. Mine was like
Yeah.
a day trip, so maybe that's why. But yeah, maybe I'll give it another shot tomorrow or something.
All right, we're gonna take a 30-second break so we can play our sponsor of today's episode. I'm joking. We don't have any sponsors.
I was
Yeah, I
gonna
was
say
gonna
you
say you
never told
probably
me
shit
about
yourself.
this.
Like, wait, what? Yeah, so I've taken
Yeah,
100% of
definitely.
the
I fucking
sponsorship proceedings. Because
awesome.
Oscar's just the face. Oscar's just the pretty face of the podcast. You see. So Oscar,
Thanks.
the real question is,
Appreciate
when are
it.
you gonna make an Instagram so people can see those beautiful eyes?
You should. Speaking of giving me compliments, you should have seen the comment he put on for my birthday on my
Well,
Facebook
I
page.
mean,
It was funny.
do you know what's funny though is
I'm talking about
you're not the only one that can see that.
the emojis
Everyone that
were
goes on
kind
your
of
profile
okay.
can see that as your birthday message,
Yeah, I know. I
including your
know.
family.
Thanks for that.
You know, if one of your family comments like, "Who are you?" I'm gonna be like, "I'm Oscar's."
Actually, hang on. I think I think some of my family have
Have they?
commented on it. You dick.
What on my post?
Yes. Not on your
Oh
post, but
yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah,
what
yeah,
you've
yeah.
written.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all Bradley's fault, guys. Blame
What
him
for appreciating you on your birthday?
for everything. Well, can I read it
Yeah, go ahead.
out to what you wrote? All right, hang on. Let me get my Facebook page up here, kind of thing. Facebook page, bloody hell. Ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, he said, "Happy birthday." Now I'm gonna break this down. So it says, "Happy birthday, you sexy motherfucker." Fine, whatever. That's funny. And then just the emojis were just not needed.
What do you mean they weren't needed?
Just we were talking about opinions, right? This is my opinion.
Well, my opinion is you need to shut the fuck up and accept it.
Okay, that's see guys, this is how he treats
Yeah,
me off
well,
when we're
here's the
recording.
thing.
He just
If I
insults.
was there in person, I'd give you a nice big birthday kiss on the lip in front of.
Yeah, I don't- See now you put me in a weird.
See, do you know why Oscar feels uncomfortable right now? Because he's actually got a boner. That's why he's thinking about it, and he's got a boner. So now
That's not
he's
true.
really uncomfortable because he's starting to discover something about himself.
That's
Don't
not
get
true at
defensive,
all.
Oscar. No need
I'm
to
not getting
worry.
defensive. Fuck off. You know what? You know what? I quit the
Oh
show.
fuck
I
you
don't
then,
like it
man.
anymore.
Well, today's sponsor is Monster Energy. I'm kidding. Imagine. Oh god. You
Yeah.
know what? To be honest,
Imagine me just-
my life goal in terms of sponsorships would be a beef jerky sponsorship because I fucking love beef jerky. I'm tempted to become a prostitute to sell my body for beef jerky, or Monster Energy or Pepsi Max. Those would be my dream sponsorships.
Yeah,
Are you a big energy
Pepsi,
drinker?
yeah.
Energy drinker? You know?
I'm not. Well, I mean, no, I mean, do they work? I mean, do they work? They're not really. I've
I
heard
mean,
different
it depends
stories
on the
about them.
person, really. Like, if you have a high caffeine tolerance, then no, probably not that much. Like me, I have a pretty high caffeine tolerance, but I used to drink loads of energy drinks, but because I drink less and less energy drinks, my caffeine tolerance has gone down a bit. So,
Did you drink them because like you needed energy, or just
a
like you
bit of
liked them?
both to start off with, and then it just became. I'm pretty sure it was more of an addiction at that point. Um,
Okay. What made you change? Or did you just like? Was it just like you
do you
just
want to know
stopped?
the truth?
Yeah, sure.
I had a really
I
difficult
mean, yeah.
poo, and I think it was because of all the monsters I'd drunk. And I had really bad stomach
Okay.
issues for like 3 days. Hey, you wanted to know the truth. It's true. I had really bad stomach issues for like 3 days, and I was like, I need to stop. Or I didn't stop completely. I cut down massively because, well, throughout my life as a teenager, I'd drink a monster a day, like 2 monsters a day at one point. And then I started cutting down. But the last time I cut down was when I was working, and I realized I was drinking a monster every morning, and realizing I don't actually really need it. Um, but now I only really get a monster if I've had really shit night's sleep, and I need that energy boost to just get me through the day, or if like
Right.
if I know I'm gonna be quite active, I'll drink a monster. If I'm like not necessarily a bad night's sleep, but like like a regular night's sleep, but I'm not full of energy, and I know that I'm gonna be having to do something like that's gonna be quite um energy consuming, I guess.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
obviously I drink the sugar free ones. Are you a coffee drinker though?
I used to be.
What kind of
I
coffee? You
used to
like a
be.
black
Uh,
coffee, no sugar kind of guy, or
you know, it was years ago. I can't.
what do you drink now?
It had sugar in it, but like the problem was
Oh,
it
it
kept me
didn't really
up, and
affect you that
then
bad. Bro, a monster would
yeah,
make
I
you
couldn't get
run
to
off the
sleep.
fucking
And
walls, buddy. Well,
oh,
a
would it?
monster I think
No,
contains. I think it's like how much was it? It was like I'm trying to remember how much caffeine it was. I think it was like 200 milligrams, megagrams. I think it is. Um,
okay,
which I think it's like 3 times as much as a coffee in a whole entire
bloody
can though,
hell!
like
Thank God.
500 milliliter can.
Yeah,
Um, I think it might even be 400. I think the last time I drank like something that gave me caffeine that was was mostly was Sneak Energy. Um, like that's like an energy for me, like the whole and caffeine but without all the chemical bullshit, just like the vitamins and that's basically it. They were pretty good. They worked quite well for me.
you are you much of like a hot
I
chocolate
I
guy?
love hot
At all?
chocolate, but I am diabetic, so I
Same
can't
here.
drink too much of it.
I
What is that? What you
um,
what do
I
you
think
drink now on like a regular basis?
uh, you know, I've got. I mean, I try to drink a lot of water. The only reason I say that is because I think it was sometime last year. I was drinking like a lot of Diet
Oh,
Coke and
really?
Ribena, and I got and I got like dehydrated.
No, I
It
get
sounds
you.
weird,
Like,
I know.
especially Diet Coke is not going to quench your thirst at all.
No, and then I was like, okay, this is a bit odd.
Yeah.
I
Do
wasn't
you know what? I've
feeling.
been through the exact same thing with Pepsi Max before. I'd like drink like a load of Pepsi Max and not drink any water.
You get like unwell.
Yeah, so
Not
you
unwell,
start to feel a
dehydrated.
bit
I'll say.
dizzy and weird, right? Like,
So it's interesting that happened because my mum had a problem with like drinking lots of tea, and she started to feel really,
yeah.
really odd, and she was told to cut
To be honest,
down.
I
And she
think
did.
tea is more probably to do with the caffeine of it because tea can be quite hydrating, right? Pretty sure, depending on the tea.
I She was getting. She was the same. She was like
Maybe.
dehydrated.
Maybe it could be like the sugar or whatever that she has in it.
Like
So you
yeah,
just drink
exactly. Yeah.
water then? You
So
don't like, you
uh,
know, what?
I try my best to drink water. I do, like, especially
All right, what's your
like
go-to
because
sort
like
of
I had
fun drink? I guess.
like dental work
Yeah.
done a few years ago, and the last thing I wanted to
Did,
do was
did
fuck
you
that
have
up.
braces?
I did, but I don't. I didn't have them when I was in
No.
ICT.
I remember Oscar got braces, didn't he?
Oscar Wilson had
Yeah,
braces. I don't know if
he
he's
has.
got
Yeah,
them
he's
off
got 'em- he
now,
had them
but
off quite a while ago, I think. He's got nice
he got them
teeth.
off. Okay, yeah.
Um, Shout out to Oscar though, man. Probably one of the biggest support networks in my life. But he's a really
He's a
good
good
guy,
dude, man.
man. Honestly, he deserves so much more credit than
Yeah.
he gets. Like he's genuinely one of
Uh,
probably one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. Like he may not like he may not be
I
like he may not be perfect. Nobody's fucking perfect, but this guy is like probably like I feel like I'm undeserving on that of that guy's friendship. Like he's such a good person.
I kind of got to know. So I got to
Yeah.
know Alu first in the
Yeah.
first year quite well. And it was quite funny because basically, do you remember like the computer
Yeah,
area
yeah, yeah.
college? So like I was on there, and me being a total wrestling geek, I was looking up like the news of the world of professional wrestling. And Alu saw what I was looking at, and that's how it started because he was like, "Oh, you watching the pay per view this Sunday?" Then I was like, "Oh, that's funny." And then he and I were talking about it again in a lesson, and
Yeah.
Oscar Wilson heard us, and then that's
You
how
know
I
what?
got to know
Alu
him.
was actually the first person I ever spoke to in our class when I first joined. Yeah.
No shit.
I said to myself, I said, trying to be more social. So I literally said to him, like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more social. So I thought I'd say, hi, my name's Brad. And then I was like, what's your name? And he was like, Alu. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And then we just got talking. So, to be honest, I was actually friends with Oscar until quite a little while later. Oscar and Cole, because they had their sort of friendship group a little bit. And then I ended up sitting next to
Yeah.
Oscar and that. And then it's such a weird story, man. Like, mad how me and Oscar were best mate.
But then I don't think I met you until sometime later. Oh, I not meet you, but
We didn't.
I
No,
don't think
we didn't
we
really start
started talking
talking
until sometime later.
because I think you were more like talking to Alu. And to be honest, I think we started talking because you know what? I think I started talking to you because I thought to myself, you seemed very closed off, very introverted, right? And I was like, do you know
Yeah.
what? I didn't feel bad.
Hope it's
That's not
out.
the word. I I felt like you would probably I felt like you
You
probably have a
poor
good
motherfucker.
conversation, but you just wouldn't start it. Do you know what I mean?
I hate how
Yeah.
people know me
So
so
I was
well.
like,
The
so I
fuck?
started talking. I think I started talking to you one day. I think we were working on something together, weren't we? Weren't we working on like a PowerPoint
We didn't
presentation or
work on.
something? Because we started talking and we were both like really into editing videos.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, because we were both shit. Because we both and still do shit all over Movie Maker.
Yeah, I think that's what made us bond. We were just absolutely shit talking movie maker at the time. But yeah, like Yeah, I mean it's weird because me and Oscar just like we didn't socialize for such a long time. We didn't talk in the same. We were in the same class, and then I just started talking to him and Carl, and like we became like a little friendship group. And then me and Oscar literally just became best mates, and we're still best mates to this day. Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy.
I I actually so I like Oscar Wilson and I don't message as much. Like I'm more in
Yeah.
contact with Alu than I am with Oscar Wilson.
Watch Oscar like, watch Oscar like text us like,
But I
bro,
think
why are you saying my full entire government name, bro?
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, bro.
So, dude.
I mean, we're not exactly hiding our names, so and to be fair, like to be fair, he's on socials, isn't he? So they know who he is.
But also, if you think about it, like we haven't said anyone else's last name except for him.
I think it's because there's you and there's Oscar Wilson.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, like
easier.
it's hard because I have two friends called Oscar. So if I'm talking to someone else, I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to my mate Oscar, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, and I was like, and then they mention him, and I was like, no, it's a different Oscar. So
It's funny you say that because like I've
yeah,
got another friend called Bradley. So like my family would
yeah,
always get confused. So they found out your online name.
man's
Sorry, mate.
exposing me out here,
And
bro.
then so I was just like, so whenever they ask me like, so now they just say how's Tip for a Fish. I'm like, yeah, he's great.
Do you know what, bro? Like, I'll be getting married, and just be like, I'll invite you to my wedding, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to Tipper Fish's wedding.
Let's just
Yeah,
change the name,
that's
mate.
gonna
Your
be my
legal
new
name.
legal
That's
name,
it.
Tipper Fish. I mean, to be
But
fair,
now, like
that is my
you know,
username, like everywhere except Instagram, Snapchat.
it's like I say to my mom, oh yeah, I spoke to Tip for a Fish today. She's like, oh, how is he? He's like, he's great.
You could just call me Sexy Brad, and then the other one. To be fair, you could just call me Brad
Yeah,
instead.
yeah, but yeah, but like it's just, mate, I've got you as
Oh
Tip for a
really?
Fish on my phone. It's already.
It's mad though. Do you
Yeah.
know? It's like we didn't even meet online, so like there's like no excuse for having my username as my contact name. Like, we actually met in real life in college, and yet my contact name in his phone is Tipper a Fish, bro. It feels so impersonal, man. I feel
Um,
like, oh, I'm offended.
hey, it's like if I get a WhatsApp, oh, it's Tip for a Fish.
You should just put me down as my name, innit? Brad Butler.
Well,
You
I could
could.
do that. I could do that, but then it's gonna ruin the
What?
illusion.
What fucking illusion, bro? You're just chatting shit at this point, aren't you?
All I need is like your
Oh
old logo
no! Fuck the
on your
old
WhatsApp
logo and fuck
profile.
the designer who created it. He can suck my knob, little prick. Do
Really?
you know what? I don't know if I've ever told you what he did.
Is it the same guy, or is it the same guy that created the intro? Or is it two different people?
Depends on the intro, but I think it's the same guy. It's yeah.
You saying
No,
something?
actually, I'm gonna fucking name it. Usain Hulk, I think his name was. He was a little shit,
Is that
man.
it?
Alright, so I was chatting to this girl. I'm not gonna name her name, because I know she's in a relationship now. So, chatting to this girl, he had a thing for her, and I had a thing for her. And I'm not being funny enough, bro, but he's from the UAE. I'm from England. She's from England. Who has a better chance? He's from the
Wait, where's he from?
United Arab Emirates, I think, right?
Oh, I got you. Right, yeah,
And
go on.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
so he he hated how close we got. Got very close. I'm talking close. And
Right,
yeah,
got
and
you.
he hated it, and he basically had an argument with her, and he was like, "You have to choose me or him." Right, and
Oh,
she's like,
don't
"I'm
be a
not going to choose.
dickhead.
If you leave, that's your choice. But I'm not choosing between the two of you, right?" And I'm not being fan of him, but I'm way better than he is. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm way sexier too, but he I
No
don't even know what
comment.
he looks like, man. The guy never showed his face to me. Um, huh?
Really?
Nope. not to
Did you
me.
not? Oh wow.
But he, um,
Maybe.
yeah, basically he, when I got back with one of my exes, he tried sabotaging my relationship with her.
Oh, come
Um,
on.
by trying. No, do you know what? Actually, do you know what he did do? That my ex told me about. Right. As much as we had problems, she was loyal. I think towards the end, I don't know about that, but she was loyal, and he tried while we were broken up. Yeah, he tried to dig up dirt on me to give to this girl that I was talking to, so she would choose him over me, bro. When I found that out, yeah, I went mad. I fucking unfollowed him on Twitter and everything, right? And he was like, "Yo, what the fuck's your problem?" I'm like, "No, you know what my fucking problem is, right?" She told me everything. She told me
Yeah.
that you tried to find out what kind of guy I was, if I cheated on her and things like that, and like if I was like basically like a really bad person. And he was like, he tried to play it off as if he didn't do anything. I was like, "Do you know what? Fuck you, man." Like we were supposed to be friends. That's the worst
That's
part. We were supposed to be friends at the time. Apparently, he went into a mental institute because he couldn't handle her rejecting him or something. Not my ex, like the girl I was chatting to. Apparently, he couldn't handle. Like, bro, this guy was. What the fuck, man? What?
that's
Why
just, you
would you
don't
do
do
that?
that. Like,
Like, why
yeah.
would you go to my ex girlfriend to try and expose me? And the funny thing is, man, my ex girlfriend basically told him to fuck off.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
fair enough
Oh,
to her,
well,
man.
yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? How
It's just,
pathetic is that?
it's just something you
Like,
don't
bro,
do.
you're trying to
Yeah.
compromise my a potential relationship with a girl from another
Yeah.
country, far away across the world, with a guy like just what I mean.
It's
Like,
long
it's not
distance.
even that, man. It's I was in England. I was in the same country as this girl. I was like a fucking an
Yeah.
hour, 2 hour train ride away from her. Whereas he would have had to fucking pay like hundreds,
Fly.
maybe even thousands in flights and hotels to even see her.
Yeah.
Like, and not to mention, bro, the guy was a bitch. I hate the phrase "man up," but like, he was a bitch. He had no backbone whatsoever. My my
I
niece
mean,
is less sensitive
it's
than him.
oh
You know what I
shit.
mean? It's ridiculous.
Have you had any,
No,
have you had any contact with him
they can
since?
fuck right off, mate.
No. Well, why would you?
You know what? And if anyone's listening, they go to him and say about it. Fucking let him hear it. Here's a message for you, right? You're a prick. You're a bitch. Come at me, pussy. But other than that, I really don't care. Actually, I actually don't actually hold a grudge against him anymore. And do you know why? Because I couldn't give two shits. Because at the end of the day, I won. Fuck the guy. The guy went off the rails. He basically quit everything to go and basically had to. He basically quit all social media to like go and live his life in uni or something. Because nobody ended up liking him in the end. So
You were so calm at the start of this. What
you get
happened?
me fucking riled up, man.
I didn't do anything. What the fuck are you talking
I'm
about?
blaming you for every time I get mad. But nah, like no. Realistically, I'm not actually angry. Like I genuinely don't care anymore because at the end of the day,
Oh,
I
oh,
am
you
much
should see this
happier than he is. I mean, he might be happy now. Do you know what? If he wants to
guy.
reconcile, right? I will accept an apology. I will not apologize for anything I've done to him because I did not do anything to him. If he wants to reconcile and apologize, I'll happily do that. I'm not holding a grudge. I don't hold a grudge against anyone anymore. No one.
Okay, here's a question. Then after this, I think we should probably wrap up because I feel like this has gone on a
Yeah,
lot
but
longer
that's
this
what we said,
episode.
right? We said minimum 45
Um,
minutes. If it happens, it happens, right?
what's what are your thoughts on? I think what are your thoughts on
What thoughts
grudges,
on
right?
what?
Because like I get thoughts on grudges because when my dad was around, he was the type of guy to hold a grudge, and I mean like
Mm.
a serious grudge. And I think I'm not gonna lie, I get that. I've gotten
You
that
know
from
what?
him.
You haven't gotten that from him because
Um,
you gotten that because you're a human. Everyone says I don't hold grudges. You hold a grudge for a while. Everyone holds a grudge at least once. But
Yeah,
eventually you can let them go. I held loads of grudges. I had grudges against everyone. Um, you know,
yeah,
like I said with this guy, Usain Hulk. I had a grudge against him, but now I don't. You know, if he want, like I said, if he wants to talk to me, I will not ignore him. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if he wants to apologize for his
he-
action, we can be friends. No, actually, no, we can't be friends. I'll accept an apology and I will talk to him, but I will never trust him to be my friend ever again. And I have a right to do that. I will never hold a grudge. I don't hold a grudge against him anymore. Because at the end of the day, right, a grudge punishes you. It doesn't punish them. It punishes. So if I held a grudge against him, then I'd be punished, even though it turned out better for me than it did for him. Like I wasn't the one that stooped to that
yeah.
petty level of trying to expose someone for being a bad person. I didn't go to his ex and do all this, try and get all this just to sabotage a possible relationship with this girl, right? I didn't stoop to that
Yeah,
level. I basically told him to fuck off. Got rid of him.
yeah. I think so. I mean, I think there's with me,
It's a
I don't know.
human
I think
thing.
a lot of people just
It's a human thing to hold a grudge,
find
and
it
it's fair
hard.
enough, right? But at the end of the
Yeah,
day, right, revenge usually never actually ends well. So you get your revenge on someone, but it will never actually make you feel better. The best way to move on from that kind of hatred or
correct.
grudge is to literally let it go and be happy with yourself. Because it's okay. Everyone's gonna hold a grudge. I know I say I don't hold grudges anymore, but if I hate someone, if something happens, I might hold a grudge for a little while, but I'll let it go eventually. Right now, I don't hold a
Yeah,
grudge against anybody. Like not even my own father. You know what I mean? Like not even my own dad. Like I don't really hold a grudge against him. I'd rather make jokes about the situation about how shit of a dad he basically is, but I don't hold a grudge against him because what's the point? It affects my life. It puts me down. It makes me feel like you know. It makes me feel the hatred, and hatred is an ugly emotion to feel. So holding a
yeah.
grudge for me, it's a very human thing, but it's whether you let it go over time or if you let it basically bring you down. Yeah, if you let it fester, it
That's,
affects you. Like you know, you can win, but like at the end of the day, like say somebody hurts you, the best way
yeah,
to like sort of deal with that is to be happier over time. It's gonna hurt. Say you're going through a breakup, it's gonna fucking hurt, man. Do you know what I mean? And you have to allow it
yeah,
to hurt, and you can hold a grudge against the person that broke your heart. But at the end of the day, if they're living rent free in your head, they're still winning. They're still the ones bringing you that pain. Best thing to do is just move on, let it go. Right? As much as it's gonna hurt, it's gonna take a while. It could take years, even if it takes years. But eventually,
yeah.
work on letting that grudge go, and then, bro, you're free. You're living happier life, and like they can live with that hatred. Because I guarantee, if you have a grudge against someone for a reason, they'll probably have a grudge against you. And if they let it go and you don't, who's being punished? It's you, right? Because at the end of the day, man, like you're not gonna seek
Let me
revenge.
ask,
Do you know what I mean? You're not gonna go out on a fucking revenge path. So just get over it. Just move on and be happy with yourself.
let me ask this because
Okay.
it's going to lead on to a story. Do you think maturity has a role in
Majority.
it? Yeah, as in, um, do you think it will depend? Well, maybe it depends on like how
Oh,
mature the person is
maturity. Oh, sorry for
themselves.
saying
If
majority.
they, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you
No, no, no.
mean in terms of what? Like, if they're mature, you'll let it go,
Well, as in,
or if you're mature,
I
you'd
don't
let
know,
it go.
mate. Yeah, I mean,
I
and I'll
don't.
explain why
I
because I've
don't
got a story
consider.
about
I
it.
don't think.
But
I think grudges. I think revenge is more of an immature action. Um,
yeah,
or like seeking personal revenge can be more of a mature action. Like, immature. Sorry. Um, I'd say yeah, the mature thing is to let it go, but at the end of the day, you are human, and you will feel that emotion for a certain amount of time. That's what makes you human. If you don't feel that kind of emotion, you're basically a sociopath.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the reason I say that is because I can look back because I have a friend. We're friends again, but in like mid 2017, like we had a fallout, and I can honestly say to you right now, looking back on it, I was very
Oh
immature.
yeah, I mean we've all had
I
that
really
moments.
was.
Like I've been immature. Like when we had that Usain Holt conversation, right? I was not the immature one there. I basically told him to
Yeah,
fuck off. Like like we were supposed to be friends, and you basically went behind my back. You can leave me alone. Or what did I do?
but
I
see,
unfollowed him and just left him. Just fuck, get out of my life. And then when he came asking about it, I told him the truth, right?
see, you did
But
you did the
when
right
I was
thing because
younger,
what?
even now, sometimes you can be petty and immature, and it's because you want someone to feel the pain that you're feeling. That's what it is. Do you know what I mean? That's why people lash out. And I'm a person with anger issues, and the
Well,
one thing that's misunderstood about anger issues is we don't just go around punching walls and fucking abusing people that we care about. That's not what anger issues are. Anger issues can also be I feel sadness and it turns into anger because it's easier to feel angry than it is to feel sad. And it's easier to release
yeah,
anger than it is to feel sad and it is to release sadness. I'd rather be angry and just like, throw something or, like squeeze a stress ball or like fucking I mean the best anger thing is to literally go off on your pillow, just like throw it about, fucking punch it. You may feel like it's stupid, but it helps. You know, it's easier than crying. It's easier than letting that emotion out because you feel weak when you cry. You know what I mean? So it's it. That's why you want you. That's why you act immature and you lash out, and because you want people to feel the pain that you're feeling.
because it's interesting, right? Because so
Right.
when this falling out happened,
Do you mind me
and it was
asking
just
what
a
it was
friend.
about?
We were friends for a long.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna yeah. So, um, it was looking back on it very petty. At the time, we weren't together. We were just very close friends. At the time, I didn't like.
Yeah.
I thought she was lying to me a lot. And and another friend of mine sort of joined in, not
Yeah.
joined in, but like he was sort of with me, and I didn't like the lies. And basically, what happened is one day I just sort of lost it, and I sent, and this happened twice, so it shows I didn't. Anyway, first time it happened, I sent her a really lousy message, and I
Right.
blocked her instantly. And then what I continued to do was we just talked about it, I let it fester, and what then happened was I took the least um, I took the wrong path, and I was talking shit about her behind her back, and that's like
Yeah. I
the
mean,
least mature thing to do.
I've yeah,
And
but you
then,
learn from it, right?
well, so about
Yeah.
2 months goes by. Um, I'm not going to name names in the
Yeah.
situation at all, apart from myself. 2 months goes by. A close friend
Right.
of hers passed, so I reached out then because I
Yeah.
knew how much they were close. I reached and I was like, "Hey," just sent her a message, whatever. And then that happened, and then in the summer, it started when, at the time in my head, I thought she was sort of stirring
Yeah.
shit back up, and I didn't like that. It was almost, you know what it was, mate. Looking back on it, it was almost like I had like a fuse, and like anything
Right.
just like sort of set me off. I don't know what was going on.
Sound like
Anyway,
you needed a
so
wank.
then it happened again.
I said,
What?
sounded like you may have just needed to have a bit of a wank, release that anger.
Oh, fuck
Sounds
off.
like you need one
Right.
now, mate. Jesus. So, right. So you started. So,
Um,
right. So the question is, right?
I'm gonna throw you through a wall.
I'd love to. I'd pay to try
So
to see you try
I
and throw me through a wall.
and then the same thing happened again. I wrote this awful, awful message, and then for 3 years
I
it was
know
carrying this
this may be
grudge with
embarrassing,
me,
but
and
can I
then
ask what you said to her? Or are you too ashamed of what you said? You know what,
it's
right?
really bad,
Just say it,
really bad.
because I can honestly say I, out of ignorance, I've
Horrible.
said some horrible things to people I've cared about. I've called, when I was when I was a young guy, obviously, I grow up. You grow up with, oh, that girl's a slut. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing that she slept with loads of people. Obviously, as I've grown up more, I've stopped
Right.
judging people on that, because it's a ridiculous thing to judge someone on. As a young person, I can easily admit that I called someone that was close to me a slut because of it. So, I've
I
grown
mean,
up out of
it
it, and I
wasn't
know for
anything
a fact
like
that I
that.
won't call anyone a fucking slut anymore. The only person I call a slut or a whore are my best friends. So, you know what I mean? Or unless the girl asks me to. But other than that, like, like, it's okay to say it. It's okay to say things and learn from that ignorance. What did you say?
So I'm trying to remember. So I can't remember everything, obviously, but I remember some things. Basically, what I said was, "You're a scumbag. You use men, enjoy manipulating this person around your little
Right.
finger, stuff like that." Really, and at the time in my head, I think that was because I'm not, I don't. It's not even. It wasn't even confrontation. You can't even call that confrontation. But it was just I never used not that language, but I never
Right.
got that heated before, right? So I sent that, and then I just, in my opinion, now looking back on it, and this, it was the coward way out. I blocked her. That's
What's
what
the
it was in my
situation
head
with it now?
now.
Like with her?
So,
Oh wait, is that the girl
you
that
know
you
this, but I'm
ended
not
up
going to
getting
mention.
with? Oh, I was gonna say,
No,
is
no,
that
no,
the
no,
one you
no,
ended up
no,
getting
no,
with,
no.
and the one that ended up
No.
cheating on you anyway? So you're kind of right about her being a dick. So
No, no, no. This girl was just a very close friend, but so I lost someone
oh, right,
due
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
COVID
yeah,
in
yeah.
the height
You
of
can
the
say who
COVID
it
time.
was if you want.
So she reached out. So no, well, I'll just say it as a family member, but she reached out then, and we're quite close now again. But she reached out and just said, "Hey, sorry for your loss. I'm here if you need to chat." And then at that point, I don't know what it was, but at that point, it was over.
I
I just let it go
After that happened to
because
you, I'll actually, I'll say it afterwards. But I get where you're coming from. But you learn from it though, right? You say some petty shit to someone, but
yeah,
you sort of grow up, and like I know how it feels like you can lash out very quickly. It's just a human thing to do, is lash out because you want people to feel the pain.
yeah,
Like when it came to your family member that had passed away because of COVID, a friend of ours, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to get them in trouble, unless they publicly talk about themselves. But a friend of ours, met his girlfriend during the lockdown, and they would meet up when they shouldn't have been doing so. And
right, yeah,
after your family member had passed because of COVID, I got really angry at said friend because I felt he was being selfish, especially after, basically your friend's family member had died because of this situation, and you're breaking the rules to see a girl.
right,
We
yeah,
that was that. Do you know what? To be honest, that put a bit of a strain on the friendship for a little while. But I come to realize, like, it is what it is. You know, it's not going to change
but
anything. It wouldn't have.
af-
It wouldn't have changed anything anyway. So
after he reached out, as I said, it was just the grudge was done. That was. I was just like, you know what? Because don't so she'd been trying to reach out before. She was trying to make
so
amends, and I just
can
wasn't
I ask you a
having
question?
it.
So what made you think that she was? What did you like her, or was you genuinely just friend? Like you just wanted to be friends with the girl?
No,
So and
we
you
were just
you only
friends. We were
saw her
friends for a
as a
long time.
friend, right? Right. So
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
situation occurred to make you think this girl's lying to me? I'm angry at her. I want to say hurtful things.
So we were talking about being petty,
What,
right?
me or you and her?
And it was no, no. Just like
Yeah,
generally,
yeah, yeah.
people can be quite petty. And this and as I said, looking back on it now, I'm older, got I can
Yeah.
say I was also being petty. So what happened was, we would message and she would just ignore the messages. When I say ignore, I don't mean she'd see the message and not respond. She would not open them and then but she was online. So at that point in my mind, I wasn't expecting her to respond every time, but in my mind I was thinking, okay, she's online and she's clearly ignoring me. And then as time went on, it was just more like, fucking hell, like what are you doing? And I even sort of called her out on it, and I just felt like she wasn't giving me legitimate responses. Now, looking as I said, I mean, I sound, I don't think, I just think I was young, I was immature, um, and she even asked me, she was like, "What made you respond to me now?" And I was
I
just
think
like, you
the death of
she
that
put it
family member probably really put things
gone.
into perspective for you, right? Like you lost
Yeah, I think
someone, and
so.
now it
I
makes
think
you
so. I think
realize that you should be losing something stupid because you never know how much time you have left with them.
because also in my mind,
It's
I was
just,
like, you know what?
yeah. I mean, I
It's
know how you feel. Like
it's
I
time.
was like that. To be
It's
honest,
time.
I never actually accepted like remove my grudge for a lot of people until a couple of months ago. To be honest, like it wasn't like a couple of years ago. Like I'm
Yeah,
not saying like I took a fucking walk through Southeast Asia and found Zen or whatever. It was only a couple of months ago when I realized I was like, I can't
yeah,
be asked to hold a grudge anymore. I can't be asked to be mad at these people. Like, you want to talk to me, you want to talk to me. Like, my ex girlfriend, one of my ex girlfriends, like, I was thinking about even checking up with her because I think she went through a rough time and I just want to see that she's okay. She's doing okay. She's got a new boyfriend and I'm happy for her. Because there's no point in me holding a grudge. To
yeah,
be fair, we left things on, last time we spoke, we left
yeah.
things on a good term because, we both agreed we weren't happy, we moved on. And we said, bye, bye. We loved each other for a long time at the end of the day, and realistically, there's probably still some love there. There always will be. But whether it's like a
Yeah,
love for more of like just care for that person, that kind of love, rather than romantic love, that will always be there. I think because at the end of the day, we were friends as well as relationship. You're friends with these people, relationship with. So I stopped holding grudges for people that
but I
have
think,
hurt me. Like I just decided, what's the point?
but I think now, yeah, we're we're back to being
Yeah,
tight. We're good, and I always say to people, it's just like it's mad how kind of how we're back to being kind of close friends considering what I was saying. Just I would say to people, "Oh, you know, I'm never speaking to her again." I wouldn't even because basically at that time, what also had happened, I distanced myself, which means I'd unfollowed her, I'd unliked everything. I basically almost removed myself. The only thing I really left up was like a
yeah,
birthday message. That's it. Uh, and I just disconnected from her completely. And it's and yeah, I don't know, just interesting how things turned out. But you're right, the death of that family member likely subconsciously put things into
yeah.
perspective.
I mean, never actually um felt the death of a family member that close to me. I've had deaths in my
Yeah,
family, but to be honest, mate, I'm not close with a lot of my family. Most, most of my dad's
yeah,
side, I don't even talk to. Like, they don't give a shit about me, so I don't give a shit about them. My dad doesn't give a shit
right,
about
yeah,
me either. So let alone his side of the family. There's an auntie on my side, my dad's side, that does care. That doesn't even like my
yeah,
dad. That does care about us. Um, and everyone else on my mum's side is where I'm close to. Because I grew up with them. I love my nan and granddad. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love my dad's mum, my nan on that side. I don't love her. Don't care for her because she doesn't give a shit about me. I don't really love her. If she died, I'd probably be a
yeah,
bit sad because she was my family member, but I won't be upset about it, right? So I've never felt like a loss like that. The thing that really put into perspective for me about it was just, I've been through, the past. I've been through a lot. Um, some stuff that I've been through that I will not talk about because there's only a select few people in this world that will ever know about it. Um, because
Yeah,
mostly because I just don't trust the information with certain people. So, but
but it's interesting because about a month before the whole COVID thing happened, and a month before I lost this person, I asked him about, I asked this person about what should I do with this grudge because they knew, and they said to me, you have two options. You either because at this point, mate, I wanted
yeah,
I wanted to let go so badly, and they said you have two options. You can either go down road A, which is you make amends with her and you put it behind you, and that's it. Or road B, you ignore her, and that's fine, but
for
it might
me,
still eat away at you.
the people I held a grudge with, I don't talk to. I haven't made amends with, but I would accept an apology, or I'd try and apologize if I could reach out to them, that sort of thing. Like, example
Yeah.
saying like, I have nothing to apologize for. I didn't do anything wrong, to be honest. Oh yeah, all I did was
I see,
just
I did.
live my life. I was talking to a girl that he apparently fancied, but at the end of the day, it's not my problem. We weren't like best mates. We were just people. We were just friends, and at the end of the day, man, she was, like he was, she was his girlfriend, and I stole her off everything. So, but it's like, if he wanted to talk to me, I wouldn't ignore him. But I'm not gonna. I happily admit and say, there's a good chance we'll never be friends again. But I don't hold any hate in my
Yeah.
heart for him. To be honest, when I think about it, I don't really hold hate for anybody in my heart right now. And the thing that really put it in perspective for me was that, there's years of friendship that have been torn away because of arguments and grudges.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I hated myself at the time. I went through a tough breakup and really fucked my head up. I mean,
Hmm.
now I'm so much better now. Like, I know I sound like I'm talking really deep and sad, but I genuinely am happy as fuck right now. Even right now, today, I'm happy.
Bradley's
So
Bradley's so happy, guys. He just
yeah,
messaged
I'm
me,
so
calling me the
happy that
biggest
I
cunt in the
just
world. That's how
sent
happy.
a crying emoji to Oscar. Um, but it really fucked my head and it put me into a really dark place. But I managed to move on and I decided, you know what, holding a grudge weighs on you. As I said to you, right, it punishes you. It doesn't punish the person you have a grudge on. It punishes you. So, what's the point? I was
Yeah,
like, do you know what? I'm just gonna
still
let it all
learning.
go. What's the point, man? I don't care. But I can't be asked to hate him. I haven't got the energy, man. I haven't got a mental capacity to hate anybody anymore. Like, I want to focus on myself. I want to, like I was talking to you earlier. Like I'm not focusing on emotional attachments or hatred or I'm focusing on just moving forward. If someone's standing in my way, I'm gonna go past them. And if someone's trying to put me down, I'm just gonna, leave. If someone's giving me a negative, vibe, I don't like the word vibe. If they're giving me a negative vibe, negative mentalities around me, like, I'm gone. Like, I'm just gonna get rid of you. You're a negative influence on my life. I'm just gonna get rid of you. Because at the end of the day, the best thing that happened to me was that breakup. Because it really put things into perspective of how I felt like I needed someone to be happy with my life, and now I no longer do. I'm happy. I'm content with where I am. I mean, like I said, I'd rather be much more financially stable. But I'm looking for any job opportunity I can get. Do you know what I mean? I'll take anything because money's a good motivator. Money doesn't buy happiness. No, it doesn't. But the only thing that can buy happiness is yourself. Like, you can only buy your own happiness just by improving yourself. Like, I'm working on myself. I'm not holding grudges for anyone. I don't care what you've done to me in the past. We move on, right? At this point, if I don't want to be friends with you, or I don't want you in my life, I won't hold a grudge, but I will no longer have you in my life. I will no longer think about you. So we move
Yeah.
on. I mean, like, obviously, I will know who you are, and I will have those memories with you or of you, but I will no longer think about you, and I'll no longer let it affect me. The only thing that can affect me is, things that are completely out of my control. But even then, I'm gonna try and put everything else back in my control. Like I said, I I'm shooting my shot with every opportunity I can get, whether it's, I know it's a bit personal, but whether it's a girl that I fancy, like I said to you, whether it's a girl I fancy, I'm gonna ask her out, and it's worked for me a lot. I've been on dates, and I've hung out with girls. Ever since my breakup, I've hung out with girls that I would never have done. Pre relationship and things like that. I would have never done it, but never had the confidence. The same with jobs, man. I was so picky with jobs. I was scared to go to interviews and things. But now, man, I'm just like, I'm going to get this interview out of the way. I'm going to get this fucking job, I went in with the mentality for that job interview, I'm getting this fucking job. Letting go of grudges, right, was probably the best decision of my life. Because hate no longer holds me down. The only thing that holds me back is myself. So the only thing you have to battle is your inner demons. You're not battling anything else. You're just battling your inner demons, which you can conquer. You can conquer your inner demons by working on yourself, improving yourself. Even if it's the smallest of things. Go for a walk for an hour to feel better about yourself. Doing a bit of exercise. Getting yourself a better job. Or even if you're jobless, you get a job. Even if it's like I said, 8 hours a week, man. As long as you're doing something, get a bit of money rolling in. It's a start. You're making a start on improving yourself, improving your life. I'm trying not to make it sound like I'm doing some fucking motivational speech, like a TED talk.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, like I'm
this has
trying
been
not to make it sound like a
TED
TED
Talk
talk, but I'm just being honest. Like, what's the point? You don't need someone in your life to make you feel happy. Grudges do nothing but weigh you down. And there's not two routes to take a grudge. There's loads of routes to deal with grudges. Those two routes do exist, but there are other routes. Like I said, you don't have to have them in your life, but you can also just not hate them anymore. You can just let that grudge go and just don't think about them anymore. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of the most important ways I think anybody deals with grudge. I don't think you should always reconcile with people. Some people don't deserve your reconciliation, right? Some people don't deserve you in their lives, but that grudge should disappear because you don't deserve to be weighed down by that grudge. That hatred and pain that they've caused you, you should just you should ditch that, because then you can move on with your life and you can be the better person. You can have a better life than they can. And therefore then they've no longer got a hold over you. You go for a breakup, like I said, it could take time. It can take a very long time to get over a breakup, and that's perfectly fine. The best thing you can do is let yourself hurt. Do not avoid the pain. Do not distract yourself from the pain. Hurt. Just hurt. As long as you need to hurt, cry, let it out. Just feel nothing but pain for the next few weeks, maybe months, and then you heal yourself. How do you heal a fractured leg? You break it, put it back in place, right? I'm pretty sure that's how you heal a fracture. I feel like if I got that wrong, I sound like a dickhead. But, that's how you do it, man. You got a fractured heart. It's not a broken heart, it's a fractured heart. So what do? You let yourself, you break it, you let it break, and then it fixes itself. And yeah, you do come back stronger when you do that, because you learn from mistakes. You learn to not let people control you, because I think one of the biggest grudges people hold, right, is the people that break their hearts, yeah? That's the biggest grudge. And it controls their lives a lot because they have trust issues and things like that. That's a grudge. It doesn't always have to be hatred, but it can, if it has control over you, then it's only affecting you, it's not affecting them. So the best thing you can do is literally just let a grudge go. And that's what went through my mind that whole time. I literally had a little conversation with myself, just let it go. Is it worth it? Is it worth hating or disliking this person anymore? Is it worth having that hatred in your heart or in your mind when you've got other things to worry about? Like I'm battling depression and anxiety. Why hold a grudge against someone that hurt your feelings, or broke your heart? Just focus on yourself. Battle the inner demons coming from yourself, and then you can work on building relationships with other people or building an emotional connection with other people. But focus on yourself. Drop the grudges. Improve your life. Grudges are probably one of the things that hold the people down the most. Is because they've got to battle themselves as well as a grudge. So drop the grudge. Focus on yourself. Beat the inner demons that you've got inside you, and you're better off for it. Like I said, just shoot it. Go for it. Like you said that you don't have that mentality, right? And that you want that mentality in your life, right? So, to let go and just or shoot your shot, go for it. Just push for it, man. Just push for it. If you want something, man, take it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously there's context to that, and there's certain circumstances where you shouldn't just take it, but like, you can't just go stealing from a shop and shit. But like, you want something, you want that job, man, fucking take it. Go get it. Do you know what I mean? You fancy a girl, man? Go ask her out. What's the worst that can happen? She might insult you. What's the worst that can happen, man? Fucking move on. Do you know what I mean? You fancy a girl, you ask her out, she says no. She might even say yeah. You've got a date in your hands. It's the same with me. I had a date on my hands. I've been hanging out with people, and that's because I was straightforward and I said, yo, let's do this, let's do that, let's hang out, let's go on a date. And they agree. Straightforward. Drop the grudges. Drop the self-hatred. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but I think grudges need to be the first thing that goes before you can work on yourself. Because how are you gonna love yourself if you're just gonna let yourself hate everybody else? Like, if that hate is inside you, you can't love yourself. I'm going on a bit of a tangent and a bit of a ramble, but yeah, you had a really shocking perspective because obviously you lost someone very close to you, which probably made you think, oh shit, there's only a limited amount of time on this earth. You know what I mean? Because experiencing someone else's death really puts your mortality into perspective, right? You think, oh shit, I've only got this amount of time on earth. I could die tomorrow. When they say live your life like every day, like it's your last, right? Do it.
Mhm.
I'm not saying go around causing shit because you're gonna die tomorrow. Just do it. Just don't settle for anything less than you want. Basically, be your own motivation. That is the strongest thing you can do. Is be your own motivation. Let the grudges go. Let it all disappear. It's like a weight off your shoulder, isn't it? You know how that feels when you like when you accepted when you reconciled with that person, right? It's a weight off your shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's no longer plaguing the back of your mind because it's over. That's why, like, if somebody hurts your feelings, instead of holding a grudge, just fuck them off, man. Just get rid of it. Fuck them. What are they gonna do? Words can hurt, but words can only hurt you temporarily. So just move on, man. Even use it as motivation. Use that hate and turn it into something positive. That anger and that hate, turn it into something positive. Go to the gym, lift weights. Use all that anger to push that adrenaline out. To fucking run on the treadmill or lift weights or bike machine, whatever it is, whatever you do, or use it, put into passion to prove them wrong. Even if you for you, right? Doing your thing, bro. You're a referee, and if someone put you down for that, what's the best thing you can do? Fucking show them up. Do you know what I mean? Prove them wrong. But you cannot do that if you hold a grudge still. They win. At the end of the day, you're the one that suffers for it. And that has been my TED Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has now been TED Talk. This will be Bradley will be speaking
I'll be
in
in
local
the Winter Gardens in Blackpool first.
He's available for all bookings.
Yeah. Like I said, man, you get me into a deep topic, I'm going to just go off.
It's tipprofish at
TED.com.
ted.com.
Fucking hell. Is that like is that like a TED Talk email?
Yeah, it's just because I can just see you on the TED Talk stage with a suit.
Do you reckon I'll be good at
motivation
motivational
music in the
speeches?
background.
Genuinely, do you think I'd be good at
I think
them?
you could be. I think you could because you have some.
I've
really
noticed that
solid
about my
advice.
streams though, right? I think that's why I do this, is because I'm so used to having to have a deep conversation with my stream. Like, I don't start the conversations on my stream. You've seen my stream, right, where it would like somebody would ask me a question and then I'd answer them and then they'd get like really deep into it. So I start talking to them about the subject. And I got so used to that like
Now,
it's so easy for me to now fall into just having a really deep conversation and deep sort of speech about it. Do you know what I mean?
now I'm gonna make an executive decision. What the fuck am I talking about?
It has
This
gone on really
episode has
long,
gone
and
on
I'm not gonna lie, my
really.
mouth is dry as fuck from all that talking.
We, I don't know if we might.
No,
Do we
no,
split
fuck
this?
it, we'll
We might
upload
split
it.
it.
We got to make up for last episode anyway.
Upload.
I'll tell you
Okay,
what,
actually, yeah,
right?
because we missed last
Next
week. Yeah,
next episode will be a bit more planned. I'll tell you what, I have this thing that I will talk to you about after this recording. But I think what we should do is not necessarily plan every conversation, but we should plan the idea, like the subject of the next podcast episode. And I think you might enjoy the idea of this.
See, as I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, guys, like he and I aren't friends. We'll talk about this.
Basically,
but, like,
once we
after that,
turn it
we're
off, we're
just
just
gonna
like,
go
yeah, see
back
you
to
later,
ignoring
mate.
each
I'll
other.
well, not even mate. We're like, see you later. See you next week.
You know what?
Yeah.
We hold
That's the only
grudges
grudge
towards
we
each
hold in our
other.
lives is towards each other. We're actually doing a boxing match to let
Yeah.
it go. So.
This was recorded
Not
weeks
to be,
ago.
I'm
Our
not
boxing
trying to
match is
sound
happening
tough,
right
but
now.
realistically, if we had a boxing match, I would kill Oscar. So,
Like,
not
why
even
do you
by
have to do
choice.
that?
Like, I'd
what
accidentally
was
hit
the
him
point of that?
way too hard. If we had a wrestling match, who do you think would win, Oscar?
Yeah,
I'm not a wrestler.
I'm not a wrestler. I think anyone could probably murder me.
Oscar's a very slim guy. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
He's like have you
I
ever
was gonna
watched
say-
Teen Wolf? I don't think you have you? If you have, he's
No,
like
I'm trying to
Styles
think who I-
Stilinski. He's like very skinny and like sarcasm is his only defense.
That is kind of
Yeah.
true. I'm like a
But-
lamppost.
He's a nice guy. You know what they say about skinny guys, eh?
I appreciate that.
Gotta go somewhere. Oscar has a big willy. Thank you
This
for
has
watching,
been the
everybody.
longest episode.
Listening. We'll be back next Wednesday. We do apologise for missing an episode.
Fuck you.
But we'll be back next Wednesday on the 6th of July. Fucking hell, man! It's July already. It's gonna be July already by next episode.
Are we just gonna brush past the
Or
fact that
having a
you just
big
called
willy.
me
I
out
don't
like
think
that?
that's calling you out. I think that's more.
I don't need to discuss.
He's not denying it.
Never mind.
Are you gonna deny it?
Fuck off.
See,
Fuck off.
Oscar, do you or do you not have a big willy? Answer
I'm
the
not
question.
gonna answer this question
Oscar.
on.
Answer the question.
No, I would rather
You'd
box
rather
you
box
than
me
anything.
than answer if you have a big penis or not. Don't worry, my penis is
Better
very
edit
small.
this bit out.
Anyway, thank you for listening. This was a really wild episode. I think it's because we took that week off, right? We just had so much conversation to talk about. So, but I think next episode is going to be quite interesting because I'm gonna run the idea by you and then fuck you off because I don't like you. But I'm gonna run the idea by you and then we'll discuss it. Yeah.
We've
On
got a boxing match
the
coming up, guys. Check it
18th
out.
of July, I'm gonna absolutely knock this guy's head off.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
hilarious. All
It's
for
an,
the
it's
views.
not actually not it's an MMA fight. It's not actually boxing.
I Bloody hell. Okay. Well,
I'm gonna fucking roundhouse
well, that
kick his
changes
head
my
right
strategy.
off his shoulder.
I'm gonna be like CM Punk and just
no!
have the
Don't insult my fucking. What's his real name? It's Phil, isn't it? Phil.
like Phil's
Hmm.
books.
Fucking Phil.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What a name. Alright, anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check us out on our socials. And if you have any inquiries, give us an email. Well, that sounded way too professional. I don't like that. And check out me and Oscar. Our link trees will be down there as well. And Oscar doesn't have an Instagram because he's a bitch. But check us out. Much love. We're gonna love you and leave you. This has been What's on Your Mind. Really a lot. You gonna say bye, Oscar?